to find new homes. I'm always concerned when we're taking affordable housing or housing off the market, especially considering that there is a shortage right now.
So not having to get rid of any homes, businesses, that's a big sigh of relief for Representative Hollins. And obviously everyone that doesn't have to deal with the hassle.
Let's talk about the benefits when we come back in just a few minutes about expanding I-15 between Salt Lake City and the Davis County area. Increased travel times, less congestion. I want to get into those details in a few minutes. And I also want to talk, we just talked about the problem, right? We just talked about what the problem is with I-15. Let's put our thinking caps on and come up with some solutions besides expansion of freeways. Next.
Dave and Dujanovic. Hey, stay right here for more of Dave and Dujanovic.
And tomorrow morning, come back here for news, traffic updates, and reliable weather.
Join us to have a listen. Tim and Amanda.
Your morning companions for news.
Right on cue for summer. OPEC plans to cut oil production. Gas prices are headed up.
It could drive up prices for other goods.
Whether you're planning a staycation or a day trip, start your summer here. Get updates on traffic out of town, gas prices, and everything you need to know. Listen each day this summer, mornings and afternoons, to KSL News Radio.
Interest rates have gone up for buying a home, but not for remodeling the exterior of your home. This week only at RGS Exteriors, it's our zero interest financing sale. That's right, 0% interest on any gutters, siding, windows, or any exterior remodeling project on your home. We have programs for 12, 18, and 24 months, all with 0% financing. But the sale is this week only at RGS Exteriors. Want stunning James Hardy siding? 0%. Need to replace your windows? 0%. New gutters or gutter covers? 0%. How about a full extreme makeover? That's right, 0%. We've also been serving Utah for 5 generations, so you can trust us to do the job right. All work is backed by our exclusive 10-year everything guarantee for total peace of mind. And this week only, everything is available for 0% financing with approved credit. Don't put off your new exterior project any longer. As always, estimates are free, so call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsutah.com. That's rgsutah.com.
Get updates on Jazz and BYU news and score updates. Text Jazz or BYU at the Cyprus Credit Union KSL text line. 57500.
Smart, connected, modern. Discover life-enhancing independent living services at Trio South Ogden. They do things a little differently there because you're different. With everything you need to support your best self, you'll find that joy isn't just for the young, it's for the young of heart. Trio South Ogden's signature programs provide a unique approach to wellness that brings living well and well-being to life. To learn more, contact Trio South Ogden at 801-475-4004 or visit triosouthodden.com.
I guess it's human nature, Amanda, that no matter how much money we have in our savings account, it never seems like it's enough. And if you find yourself in that mode right now, let us direct you over to our friends at UCCU. They are wanting to help you supercharge your savings.
UCCU is offering high-rate savings options with yields up to 5.5%. All you do is go to uccu.com and select a high-rate savings option to do just what you said, supercharge your savings.
You're going to get a much bigger return on your savings right now. It's a savings certificate, which means you make one deposit up front and your money grows over a fixed period of time. So you can have that grow over 5 years, but UCCU has created some very short-term savings certificates with high yields, short like 6 months, 9 months, or a year.
So you decide how long do you want to put that money. You deposit money, a one-time only deposit, and then you let it stay in. The longer it stays in there, the higher the interest rate you earn.
And if you need immediate access to your money, UCCU's Money Market will give you a high yield and anytime access.
UCCU, you're going to love where you bank.
I'm Dave Cawley, investigative journalist and host of the podcast Cold. In October of 1985, a woman named Cherie Warren left work at a busy Salt Lake City office
To meet her estranged husband at a downtown auto dealership.
She never made it home. Cherie's car surfaced weeks later in Las Vegas.
In the parking lot of a hotel casino.
No one knows how it got there.
Strange. It was strange.
Both Cherie's estranged husband and her boyfriend raised suspicion for investigators.
I kind of thought that he might have done something.
But no arrests were ever made. In Cold Season 3, we dig into double lives, make new connections in the case, and examine the difficulty raised by reasonable doubt.
We want answers just as much as anyone else.
They have creeps like that now too, so nothing's changed.
That's the new Cold Season 3, The Search for Cherie. Now available anywhere you get your podcasts.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Tim Hughes. First, some Davis County schools are pulling the Bible from their shelves following a bill to review all materials in Utah schools. Second, Senator Mitt Romney is speaking out on the chronic passport delays, calling for an agency to be put in Utah. And third, police are trying to figure out what happened to a married couple in Hiram when they were found dead with gunshot wounds. We're going to look for a high today in the lower 80s, and right now in Salt Lake City, 67 degrees. Let's go back out on the road with David Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Summer water safety. Special coverage with David Dujanovic.
Dave and I are broadcasting live right beside the Ogden River. We're a safe distance away, though, but listen to that river run. Not as high as I was expecting when I pulled up here to Rainbow Garden Center on Valley Drive. And in a moment, we're going to be live speaking with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation about summer water safety tips. We're going to begin in 30 minutes, launching into a discussion about boating safety, what you need on your boat to keep your family safe, what's required, and also how to fit your kids in a life jacket and when they are required to wear one on the water.
So surprising to me, Debbie, that I can see the creek bed. It's so low right now. We're so used to just these big raging rivers and these big creeks. Right now you can just see, the bottom of the creek bed. There's little eddies coming down, but it's beautiful, it's peaceful, but not nearly as dangerous as I was expecting.
And let's remember that it was yesterday during our show that we reported when the National Weather Service alerted us that they had canceled the last of the flood advisories that they had issued. 40 days of flood warnings and advisories canceled as of yesterday, which is certainly a sigh of relief, but still much reason to keep your family safe around water. There's lots of water this year, as we know. Again, 30 minutes from now, live with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation. For now, let's get back to our top local story.
Dave and Dujanovic. Special coverage of the top local story.
The discussion of widening I-15 between Salt Lake City and the Farmington area. Families originally thought perhaps they would have to lose their homes. Their homes would succumb to a slab of freeway that was going to be built over them or by them. That is not the case anymore. That is not where the discussion is going. Where the discussion is going right now is the idea that, yet here we are, widening one of our freeways again.
Yeah, we're growing at an incredible pace, and it doesn't look like Utah is going to change anytime soon. In the last decade, we were the fastest growing nation or state in the nation. So what are we going to do as we continue to prosper and grow as a state? Well, there's only so many options. If you have freeways, we've got mountain on one side, lake on the other, so we can't really add a bunch of new arteries. It's kind of stuck to I-15 and some of the offshoots, Highway 89 and so forth. But basically you got to go left or right, up or down, right? And the idea of a double-decker tier freeway, that seems kind of wild.
That would be the up option.
Yeah, that's the up.
The down option is?
This one is interesting. This is one that Elon Musk has dabbled in a little bit. He created this company called the Boring Company. It sounds boring. He's talking about tunneling and creating a bunch of arteries underneath because he says you can't really go up. That's nearly impossible. But going under, subway style, that's far more achievable. So he met with Gayle King of CBS, and this is how he described why we should go down.
Either we try something new, or we will be stuck in traffic hell for the rest of our lives. I started thinking, well, maybe this could be underground. Tunnels are, in my view, the only solution to urban congestion because we have a 2D road network and we have buildings in 3D. And everyone wants to pile out of those buildings and into those buildings at the same time. Obviously, you're going to have a traffic jam.
Said a multi-billionaire. This sounds like it's going to potentially cost gajillions of dollars, and it's taxpayers who are funding it. Just to expand I-15 alone, UDOT is looking at a $1.6 billion budget, and that's just expanding the existing freeway. How in the world are we going to afford to tunnel underground?
Yeah, he says it's obviously in prototype right now. This is not ready to implement in any way. But the solution, I guess, big picture is what's the alternative? Are we going to just keep continuing to widen and widen the roads? Because once you get to a certain point, and that's kind of where we're at right now, you've got to start demolitioning homes and businesses because they're already built close to the freeway.
The solution is we have to stop being carpool adverse. We have to stop being public transit adverse. When I sit in traffic on I-15 and I'm angry, well, not to the point where some people get angry, but I'm frustrated that I'm not moving once again. Here I am stuck on 106 South. Here I am stuck on 90th South. Here I am stuck on I-15 in the Farmington area this morning on my way here up to Ogden. I'm part of the problem. I've been carpool adverse for the entire time I've had my career.
Yeah.
35 years. 35 years I've been carpool adverse. Why? Because, well, I don't really know if my buddy who I'm carpooling with is going to want to leave at the same time I'm going to leave. What if I need my car when I'm at work?
Yeah.
I've also, until recently, been public transit adverse. I recently started riding the TRAX train, and I've ridden it probably 6, 7, maybe 8 times in the last couple of months, which is like 800% more times than I've ever ridden public transit to work in my entire life. We have to incentivize public transit. We have to incentivize carpooling. Why are we piling money, billions and billions and billions of dollars into building more concrete slabs, having more slabs, instead of incentivizing these programs that would take cars off the road?
What do you mean by incentivize?
Well, I'm a taxpayer. I'm spending money to expand your freeway.
Yeah.
Why not incentivize me, for example, make public transit free?
Okay. Yeah, because I think you're touching on something important. If you're going to break a habit, you do. You can punish it or you can incentivize it.
Give me a tax credit.
Yeah.
Give me a tax credit for carpooling. Make the carpool lanes totally free. I don't know. Maybe they are free. I don't know if they're free right now. Have they waived the free? I don't know because I don't carpool. Why would I know that? I don't look into that. I don't sit around and research
you gotta buy
things
the pass.
I don't do. But didn't you talk to Representative Sandra Hollins about public transit?
So here we are talking about the 3 different solutions. So you've got up, down, left, right.
Okay.
Build up, build down, build wider. You've got public transit, and then you want to talk about technology. So I talked to Representative Hollins, who was kind of celebrating this news that I-15 is not going to have to expand wide enough to start demolitioning homes and businesses. So that was a big victory for her. So I said, okay, well, if that's not the solution, if going wider is not the solution, what is the solution to our traffic problems? And this is what she had to say.
The solution I would support is public transportation and making sure it's accessible to everyone in this state. I think that is one of the key solutions, having transportation that's environmentally friendly, one that is accessible to people who are working all times of days and night. I look at that as one of the biggest solutions that we need to look at in this state instead of looking at expanding the freeway.
Accessibility was the theme as she was describing this. And Debbie, I've used public transit off and on for years. You have kind of been a recent adopter. But the most difficult part of public transit for me is the hours that it runs, because you and I kind of work crazy schedules and hours. It's only available during kind of the meaty part of the day. It ends at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock on the weekends. But what happens if you have to be at work at 6 a.m.? Well, they just don't run trains that early, and the bus system is kind of hit and miss. Does it run on the weekends? So she says the accessibility, the expansion needs to be not only the number of bus routes that are out there or train stops, but also when they are running.
I want to talk more about this third solution. What did you say?
Technology.
Up, down.
Yeah, up, down, left, right.
Left, right, northwest. Technology in just a moment. And I also would love to take phone calls from our listeners who sit in traffic on I-15 and other freeways across Utah every single day, like we do. You've got a solution. You have to have been sitting in your car listening to us in the last 20 minutes talk about this and think, I've got the perfect solution if only somebody would give me a voice on KSL News Radio. Well, guess what? In 4 minutes, we're going to give you that voice, 801-575-TALK, as UDOT looks to expand I-15 between Salt Lake City and the Davis County area. Is that the best solution in your view? Or do you have another great idea? What is your great idea? 801-575-TALK. Next.
KSL News Time now is 9:30. I'm Tim Hughes with a look at some of our top stories. Salt Lake County Clerk's Office says it takes 13 weeks to get a passport through a routine application right now, assuming there are no snags in the process. On the Senate floor, Senator Romney is speaking out about chronic passport renewal delays.
The Mountain West region, and particularly Salt Lake City, is in what I'll call a passport service desert. The nearest passport agencies which are required for in-person visits are some 8 hours away.
Senator Romney calling on the State Department to open a passport agency here in Salt Lake City. Guardsman Pass is officially open for the summer. Crews have been working real hard at clearing feet of snow from the mountain pass. UDOT is reminding people to not park along the narrow road and obey all signs and posted speed limits. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. A former sheriff's deputy in Florida accused of doing nothing during the Parkland school massacre in 2018 is now on trial. The deaths of 14 students and 3 staff members blamed in part on former sheriff's deputy and school resource officer Scott Peterson.
The prosecutor in his opening statement characterized Scott Peterson as a coward for waiting outside while the shooter took lives. Defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh says Peterson, a 32-year veteran officer, was the first to call in a code red, but did not know where the shots were coming from, which building, or even which direction.
There was a pronounced echo and reverberation.
Survivors testifying about the horror.
I was just waiting for the police. It was the longest 20 minutes of my entire life.
That's ABC's Derek Dennis reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones Industrial, matter of fact, all of them in the green this morning. The Dow is up 92 at 33,756. The S&P is up this hour by 17. The NASDAQ is up by 112 points. Coming up, highs reaching into the 80s. We'll check your full forecast next. KSL News Time, 9:32. What do you need to hear in the morning to feel ready for the day?
Important news that happened overnight, the traffic you'll hit on the roads.
You'll be ready for your day with us.
Join Utah's Morning News 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
He might not have a badge, but we have faith in his killer instinct. Celebrate the 10th anniversary of famed detective priest, Father Brown. Stream the new season now, only on BritBox.
That sounds like a marvelous plan.
Plus, watch even more unofficial detectives in much-loved series, including Agatha Christie's Marple, Murder in Provence, and more. Expect intriguing mystery. Expect the Undetectives. Start streaming today at BritBox.com.
As a roofer, I don't have time to fail. Homeowners rely on me, so I rely on Beacon. Beacon's unique network of branches work together to get me what I need when I need it. Every branch working together. And with the new Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips. Now through June, purchase online with Beacon Pro Plus, web or app, and earn up to $1,500. Beacon, always building.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Ooma?
Yep, switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Mountain Star Healthcare's Harriman Emergency Center is now open. Be seen fast at the Harriman ER, located just off Mountain View Corridor and 134th South in Harriman.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Tim Hughes. First, some Davis County schools are pulling the Bible from their shelves following a bill to review all materials in Utah schools. Second, Senator Mitt Romney is speaking out on the chronic passport delays, calling for an agency to be put in Utah. And third, police are trying to figure out what happened to a married couple in Hiram when they were found dead with gunshot wounds. We're going to look for a high today in the lower 80s, and right now in Salt Lake City, 67 degrees. Let's go back out on the road with Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic. Special coverage of the top local story.
It is really difficult to argue with an expansion of I-15 between Salt Lake City and Davis County. When I look at the decrease in travel times that's being reported, that there's estimates out there that shows it'll reduce travel times in that area by half. I mean, who in the world is going to say, I'd rather sit in traffic for 30 minutes instead of 15? But we are looking for your solutions. What are your other solutions besides more concrete, more slab, more Jersey barriers, more lanes? 801-575-TALK. We'll be talking to you in just a moment.
The 3 that we've discussed is up, down, left, right. Right, so you can either expand the current system, left and right. I mean, maybe you could double-decker something. That seems impossible. Going up. Down is kind of the new technology, building kind of an underground tunnel system, more public transit. Or how about technology? And, Debbie, this is where I think the most practical solution is if we stop driving. Because, let's be honest, we're terrible drivers. We speed up, we slow down, we weave in and out of traffic. We're distracted. We cause accidents. If you have the artificial intelligence that can basically run the freeway system like a computer, where everyone's driving exactly the same speed, there's no crashes, you're not having those delays as well, I think technology, automated driving systems, that is probably the most practical, and I think that is the future. Instead of constantly looking at, adding layers and layers and widening, I think maybe just using our freeways more effectively.
Yeah, every time there's a fender bender on the freeway, or even when somebody, wipes out their right tire or, passenger tire, and they're over to the side.
Yeah.
We all slow down and rubberneck. And it slows traffic down. And I usually think, well, what in the world? I flip over to 102.7 if I'm not already listening to us, and I figure out what's going on in traffic. And it's like, well, you get by it, and you're like, that's what was slowing traffic?
Yes. Yeah.
801-575-TALK. I feel like we need to incentivize public transit. We may incentivize it now. Companies do. Our company does. Offers free passes, but what if we incentivized it for everybody? We got a lot of phone calls, Dave.
Let's start with Rick in Promontory. Rick, what's your solution?
I think everybody needs to take a little visit to Japan. Japan is the size of California with population, of great numbers. And here in America, we think we have the right to own a car and drive when it's really a privilege. And it's an assumed, right. And you go over to Japan, you see how fantastic their subways, their trains, their systems are. It's working. it does fantastic.
Did you say subway?
We need to build on tracks. We need to incentivize. I agree with you, incentivize. Let's make it free or affordable to use tracks. And even we Northrop Grumman traffickers going from Brigham, Ogden, Salt Lake, Brigham, out to Promontory on a 2-lane road with semis, gravel trucks, and whatnot. We call it the Thiokol 500. It's dangerous. And for years, as a Thiokol employee, Gal says, why don't they build a railway that goes from I-15 area out to the Golden Spike and make it so that becomes an attraction that you can ride a steam locomotive type of replica out to that site, and it also becomes a commuter way for all of the Northrop. And Northrop is growing. Fantastic place to work.
We bet.
Rick, I don't know what your job
so
is,
much.
but you probably should be with UDOT. Anyway, all those ideas. Bruce in Salt Lake City. Bruce, what do you think?
Yes, sir. I think put more tracks lines in up north and south, more frequent, and then not the fare there, but the little bit reduced price.
Yeah. I think
thanks,
the
Bruce.
expansion, and there's hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars that is set aside to expand these things. But remember, we live in the West, wide open spaces. It's hard to touch everything. This is not the big city where you can move around and everything is a couple subway stops away. Very difficult, in my opinion, just because we have so many wide open spaces to really touch everybody with public transit. Nicholas in Bountiful. Nick, what do you think?
I think looking at some of the comments you guys made about incentivizing it, I believe that when we incentivize public transit, we also got to look at the land use, specifically where people are living, because one of the reasons our public transit seems to be so ineffective and where the routes go is because we don't live in high enough population densities around those areas where it's going. So I do believe that.
Such a great point.
One of the things the legislator or anyone, when they look at these things, they need to look at mandatory increases on those density counts. That way we can make our transit actually work, and they can increase those times, and they're getting people that actually are using it.
But as we've been public transit adverse, as we have been carpool adverse, we are also high density housing adverse. We are a collective community of NIMBY, not in my backyard. And Nicholas, thank you for your phone call from Bountiful. As I was driving in this morning, I was thinking the same thing, how we have developed our communities from, day one here in Utah is not conducive to transit hubs.
No.
And now it's difficult to go back and sort of patchwork our way to make these communities conducive to transit hubs. And therefore, we end up with kind of a sprawling octopus of systems it's just hard to navigate.
I've lived in cities where you just had apartment buildings. Right? There were no single-family dwellings anywhere. And we lived in apartments. I did apartment living for 2 years. I hated it. I did not like it at all. Growing up, single-family dwelling with a yard and a park that's, a 9-iron away. I love that kind of living. And you say you have to incentivize it and make sure that this is how the new building. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't think that is what people would choose.
Larry from South Jordan, good morning. You live out in South Jordan. Do you have easy access to I-15, or are you like me, kind of meandering your way down 106th or 114th South?
Well, Daybreak's just up the street. But anyway, it's all in the zoning. I was against the Legacy Highway because the city fathers and all those cities that it goes through, they kept zoning out business, and business equals jobs. So everybody's on the road seeking, going to a place of employment or a place of to purchase, a retail outlet or something. But if get all these cars off the road to begin with, put the businesses back in the communities. Don't let them zone them out. They all want to be bedroom communities like Farmington and stuff years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why the Legacy Highway came in, and I was really against it because it's just in the zoning. It gets people. If you don't have to drive, it gets these cars off the road. Work in your own communities. All right,
Larry,
bye.
thanks for the phone call. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, work in your own communities, but you and I work in Salt Lake, Deb. Living in Salt Lake is so much more expensive than living in Kaysville, for example, or at least it has been in the past. It's a little less so now, the differences, but these are such massive changes. You're not going to change the way people live. You're not going to incentivize people to live in apartments versus single-family dwellings. I just don't see that happening. We have space in Utah, and people are going to grab up that space. They will commute longer and further to have a single-family dwelling versus being stacked together in apartments. I'm convinced of that.
Love the discussion. Next, summer water safety. We're going to help keep your family safe with our partners at the Division of Outdoor Recreation in 3 minutes. I want to launch into a conversation, first of all, about boating and what you need on your boat, what you're required to have on your boat, the secret dangers that you don't often think about regarding boating, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. In the 10 o'clock hour, we're going to help you perfectly fit a life jacket to yourself and to your child so you can stay safe all summer long. Next.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Did you know Utah has just one all-new station in the morning?
It's this one. Weekday mornings between 5 and 9.
Start your days with us. We're Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
Your morning companions for news.
Hey, folks, it's a beautiful day right now. It is blue skies. I got a gentle breeze, but I tell you, on these warm days, there's nothing I like more than a frazzle. If you don't know what a frazzle is, go to your local Maverick. They have tons of frazzle flavors. It's a slushy, and I enjoy it so much because it's just something I can sip on. It's not going to quench my thirst, right? It's just something I can enjoy. I love the flavors. My favorite flavor right now, the Pog. The passion fruit orange guava. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I just had one yesterday. And anyway, Frazzle wants to introduce you to the Frazzle with free Frazzle Friday. All you have to do is go check it out in one of your locations. Wherever you stop off and get your drink, check it out, see if they have Frazzles. You can go to freefrazzlefriday.com to find locations. Whether it's the Tiger's Blood, the Pina Colada, the Pog, you'll love it. They're giving it all through Fridays in June, so make sure you take advantage tomorrow with Free Frazzle Friday.
KSL News Radio, we've got a multi-vehicle crash northbound I-15 in Utah County. We've got a multi-vehicle crash northbound I-15 in Utah County. This is blocking at least 3 left lanes of travel with about half a dozen vehicles. More cars are on the right shoulder, and that is just after the on-ramp from Timpanogos Highway heading up toward the point of the mountain. Traffic is quickly backing up to 2100 north. Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires for big summer savings on tires. And don't forget, Big O also does oil changes, alignment, shocks, batteries, and more. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Here's another satisfied customer of 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, Anita Bennett.
When I first heard about 3-Day Kitchen and Bath, I thought, there's no way they could do a good job in 3 days, and they must carry only the plain Jane basics in cabinets, countertops, and flooring. Then they came to our house, and we found out they offered top quality materials with tons of choices and lots of custom options. They worked with us to design a bathroom that was perfect for our family. They looked at our needs and thought of details I hadn't even considered. The installation was clean, thorough, and professional, and they were done in just 3 days. When we got back from the hotel, I couldn't believe the difference. The bathroom is beautiful.
See us on the web at 3daykitchen.com.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Do you know how to tell if a clogged drain is something to worry about or not?
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I understand it's annoying and inconvenient, but sometimes a clogged drain can be a sign there's a more serious issue with your sewer main line. If the drains in the lowest level of your home aren't draining, or you flush a toilet and it comes up somewhere else like a shower or a floor drain, I'm urging you to look at this as more than just an annoyance. The last thing I want you to experience is a sewer backup. If you're a homeowner experiencing any of these issues, the first step would be to snake the line to see if it's just a blockage, which one of our drain techs can do for only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Tim Hughes back with my friends at Replenish Landscape Garden Products. Of course, that is Greg and Mike, and as much as we talk about Replenish, and it is in the name of the company, Greg, there are so many other things you guys provide for people that are looking to put some hardscape areas into their yard.
We have a number of different barks in different sizes and different grades that work great as a ground cover. We also have the colored wood mulches and a variety of rock products.
One of the things I've learned about you, Mike, through the years is that you're always looking for new products.
We've got great new products coming in this year, our Mountain Rose rock and Caribou rock as well. Those are beautiful rocks that you can add to your landscaping, make your yard look beautiful.
So if this is the year that you have decided you are going to finally rip that strip and save yourself some water, this is the great time to do it at Replenish Landscape Garden Products. Let me tell you where to find them. 4660 South, 200 West in Murray. You'll find them online at replenishcompost.com or give them a call today, 801-262-5142. Replenish. It's good stuff. With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Tim Hughes. First, candidates can now throw their names into the race for Representative Chris Stewart's House seat following his prompt resignation. Second, 2 people in Hiram are dead this morning with gunshot wounds. Police say there is no active risk to the public. And third, Utah lawmakers are calling for a passport agency in Utah as the waiting period continues to grow. We'll shoot for a high today of 82 degrees, and right now in Salt Lake City with plenty of sunshine, it's 70. Back to David Dujanovic on the road this morning on KSL News Radio.
Summer water safety. Special coverage with David Dujanovic.
Thanks, Tim. Yep, Dave and I are on the road. Took the show up to Ogden. We are right next to and safely away from the Ogden River. Just take a listen. Sounds beautiful this morning. Can we not? Is the microphone not working? Oh, we have a microphone right down by the river, and it's just gorgeous out here. We'll get that microphone working in just a moment so you can listen to what we're hearing right out here. Where are we at? Rainbow Gardens Center, a gorgeous area along the river. In a moment, speaking live with the Chief Law Enforcement Officer for the Division of Outdoor Recreation, we're going to take you on the reservoirs for boating, a lesson in boating safety. There's lots of things you need to have on your boats, you're required to have on your boat for safety, and there's also some hidden dangers that I think parents and people who are boating need to be aware of around boats.
And I think there's a lot of people that are boaters that know exactly what they're doing, but then they invite people like us that don't know what to do. We just come along for the ride, and we're not quite sure, like, do I need to bring my own life jacket? Or what happens if we break down? We're just putting all of our trust in, the person that we're with. So I think this is going to be a great reminder for folks that are either boaters, everyday boaters, or every weekend boaters, and the just casual person that gets invited every once in a while.
We really appreciate our partnership with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation, and the Chief of the Law Enforcement Division, Steve Bullock, is here along with us here at the Ogden River. Thanks for coming out here.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Appreciate it.
Let's take our listeners up to popular reservoirs in our minds, at least, like Jordanelle, like Pine View, like I think of Rockport or East Canyon Reservoir, where people are putting boats on the water. They're inviting family and friends to get together for the summer.
Yeah.
And let's talk safety. And I want to start with this. What do people need to have on their boats before they get them out on the water? Are they required to have on their boats, Chief?
Yeah. What an enjoyable way to spend the summer, right? Is out on the lake with your friends. When I get out with my family, it's just a relaxing place to be. it's recreation, right? Recreating, giving you that kind of lift we need from our daily work life, creating relationships with our families and friends. It's really important to be outside and to enjoy those things, and that's what our Division of Outdoor Recreation really wants to promote and do. But we want you to do it safely while you're out there. So we have law enforcement rangers throughout the state, other partner agencies, state parks, county sheriff's offices like Weber County, the National Park Service have rangers that are out on the water patrolling to make sure that people are safe and to respond to accidents and incidents that happen there. And that's really what we want to prevent. We want to make sure that people are out there having fun, but we want you to be safe while you're there. So we have a courtesy vessel inspection that we can do when you're on land beforehand if you want to, or if you get stopped for a violation out on the water because maybe you haven't taken a boating education course and don't know all the rules. We're going to walk through those with you. And our rangers are really education focused. There's some enforcement that we're going to be doing, but it's related to making sure that you're safe. So primarily we want everybody to have the law requires a life jacket for every person that's on board the boat. One that's comfortable and going to fit you is best, right? You can buy the orange square, big bulky ones as a safety effort. People usually store those under the seat and never take them out of the plastic bag. Yeah. But we want you to have one that you can wear. That goes for if you're on a paddleboard or a kayak. That's really growing in Utah and nationally. Since COVID, we've seen actually a lot of boating deaths across the country, a large increase for people that are buying a kayak from Walmart and coming out and launching that. They forget to bring a life jacket. The wind picks up and they get blown away. And then they're struggling to stay afloat.
Hey, when it comes to a life jacket, we need to be wearing one at all times when we're on a boat, or does it just need to be present on the boat?
That's a great question. So every time I go boating, I wear a life jacket. I know how to swim, but I wear it because open water is an unknown. There's comfortable life jackets that you can wear. What the law requires is anyone 12 years and under to have a life jacket on their body, wearing it, properly fastened and fitted. While they're on a boat on a lake or a reservoir. If you're on a river floating down the Provo River or the Weber River or the Colorado River, life jacket wear is mandatory in Utah. You have to wear it. You're talking about currents and fast-moving water and rocks and branches, so you have to have one in those situations. What's required is a life jacket to be on board for every person that's properly sized and going to fit them. You also need to have a throwable life preserver. Sometimes that's called a Type 4, but it's the round donut you see on the Love Boat or the square seat cushion.
I had a
with
square
handles.
yellow cushion I
Right.
could throw out if somebody got in distress and needed to float
Exactly.
to the boat.
And you might be helping somebody on your own boat, or there might be two people in distress, and so you can throw to one and go to the other, or you might be helping another boater.
When I was subjected to a surprise inspection on the lake, I learned that you have to have a fire extinguisher on your boat. I had one. Mine was severely expired.
Right.
And thankfully, the ranger was willing to work with me. I immediately went out and got a brand new updated fire extinguisher. But I didn't thought to check the expiration date on a
Right.
fire extinguisher. I didn't realize it was like, mayonnaise and it expired. So I learned my lesson there. But it makes sense. You need to have an extinguisher on your boat in case something happens and you're on the water and the fire breaks out.
Yeah, early in the year we have a lot of boat fires as people are reconditioning and dewinterizing their boats. They forget to do it properly. Boats overheat. We just had a couple of really big fires down at Lake Powell.
On the marina.
They're on the Arizona side. We were down there yesterday actually taking pictures with our underwater cameras to try and get some evidence on how that might have started. And so yeah, fire extinguishers are important. The bigger your boat, the more you have to have. But in general, you just need to have a marine life jacket you can purchase at a boating store or even at Walmart. If it has a plastic top, they're good for 12 years. It has a metal top, then it's a rechargeable, and it's good for 5. So,
can I ask you about a hidden danger about carbon monoxide on boats?
Right.
We have certainly covered our share of carbon monoxide, accidental carbon monoxide deaths from people who are maybe swimming behind a boat. And they don't have a life jacket on.
Yeah.
So they pass out from this, silent killer, and then they go under the water.
Yeah. So carbon monoxide, odorless, colorless gas, right? Same thing. These are motorboats, so it's just like your truck or your car that you're driving to work every day. You have exhaust coming from that. It's odorless. It kind of sits behind the boat, just above the water. You can't see it. You can't smell it. You can kind of taste some of the other fumes there. We've had some deaths in Utah. None super recently. When I was a ranger up at Hiram State Park, this has been 10 years ago, there was a family that was trying to help another boat at the dock. They let their kids sit on the swim deck while they were trying to jump somebody else's boat. And the kids fell over. Mom kind of didn't know what was going on. We rushed them to the hospital, and luckily they survived. It was carbon monoxide poisoning.
Wow.
So That's why when you got pulled over, the surprise inspection, as you call it.
That was the reason why.
It's because somebody was sitting in the back of the boat when you were moving.
They shouldn't have been.
Or when you're sitting there. So when you stop out on the lake to let your boat go, if you turn your motor off and you're drifting or you're anchored, it's good to turn that off. The other issue that's dangerous coming from back there is prop, right? That's spinning. Unfortunately, we respond to several prop cuts every year where people forget to put the boat in neutral or forget to turn the motor off when people are coming in and out of the boat.
They're jumping off the back of the boat and they get their leg dinged by the prop that's spinning. Great tips. You're going to stick around with us.
Absolutely.
Chief Steve Bullock with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation, helping us stay safe for a summer of fun with our families. This is just the tip of the iceberg for our coverage here this morning. In a moment, we are going to teach parents how to properly fit their child for a life jacket and also how to fit themselves for one.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
Mom and Dad used to argue about everything, especially about Dad's drinking. It drove me crazy. It got so bad, I couldn't do my homework. I couldn't concentrate. I absolutely refused to let any of my friends come to our house for any reason. I would have been humiliated if anyone found out how much my dad drank and how loud my mom screamed at him. My family went from totally crazy to quiet, calm, and even peaceful. The only thing that happened is my mom started going to Al-Anon family groups. Her relationship with my dad really changed. I asked Mom if she would take me to her Al-Anon meetings or to Alateen. I wanted to see if I could have a better relationship with my dad. I'm sure glad I did. If someone's drinking troubling you, you might be surprised at what you can learn in an Al-Anon or Alateen family group from people just like you. Call 1-888-4-ALANON or go to alanon.org.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Alexandria Bonilla. KSL's top story this hour. Guardsman Pass is officially open for the summer. Crews have been hard at work clearing feet of snow from the mountain pass. UDOT is reminding people to not park along the narrow road and obey all signs and posted speed limits. And candidates can now start throwing their name in the race for Representative Chris Stewart's soon-to-be vacant seat. Candidates now have until Wednesday to declare their gathering signatures and will only have 3 to 4 weeks to get 7,000 of them. As for who's running, we know Becky Edwards is. Sorry, technical difficulty there. Utah Senate Minority Whip Kathleen Reeves says she's considering running. Senator Ted Weiler says he's thinking about it too. And pharmacists in Utah say we're no longer experiencing shortages of the diabetic drug Ozempic. But if you plan to use it for off-label weight loss, University of Utah Associate Chief Pharmacy Officer Aaron Fox warns of the potential cost.
It's also pretty expensive. And so, I think some patients might be able to get it covered for a few months, and then their insurance might take a harder look. Then they might get that no from their insurance company, and then they'll be in a tough spot.
Fox also says even though early data shows positive results in weight loss, it's still unknown how long you'll have to take it for those positive effects to last. And our top national story this hour from ABC News, the Supreme Court hands down an opinion today that is considered a major win for preserving portions of the Voting Rights Act. The ruling was based on electoral maps drawn by Republicans in Alabama.
Today, the Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision written by Chief Justice John Roberts, joined by Brett Kavanaugh and the 3 liberal justices, said, in fact, that Alabama's map was discriminatory, that it violated Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, that landmark law passed after the Civil Rights Movement to prevent against discrimination in voting. They said the lower courts properly applied the precedent and that map needs to be redrawn to account for black voters.
That's ABC's Devin Dwyer reporting. And your money at this moment, it looks like the Dow is up 38, the S&P is up 12, and the NASDAQ is up 107. Coming up, some more sun. KSL weather's next. KSL News Time, 10:03.
We have enough people running around Broadcast House at 4 in the morning to field a football team.
Producers, reporters, the traffic team, and us.
This is Tim and Amanda.
Join us each morning from 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Text us here in the studio and give us your opinion. The Cyprus Credit Union KSL text line at 57500.
Spend less time at the post office. With Formax and Mint mailing systems from Les Olson IT, you can quickly, accurately, and easily process your outgoing mail and even save on postage. Fold your documents, stuff and seal your envelopes, print addresses, weigh and measure to apply proper postage, all with the click of a button. With multiple model options available, you're sure to find a Formax solution and Mint mailing device that perfectly fits your business needs.
Les Olson IT.
It doesn't get better than summer camping in Utah, and it doesn't get any bigger than the Utah Summer RV Palooza, presented by Bish's RV. We're bringing the biggest RV show in the region to Layton, June 8th through the 10th. For 3 days only, the Layton Hills Mall is where you'll find a massive selection of top RV brands like Go Play, Ember RV, Forest River, Northwood, and a whole lot more. Get up to 20% below cost on select new 2022 RVs, and get 90 days no payments on approved credit for all play and no pay till September OAC. Summer RV Palooza is where you'll find a brand new 26 BH travel trailer. It's high quality at an undeniable value at a sale price of only $19,995. The selection is huge, and so are the trade-in offers. Get max value for your current RV when you trade in at the show. Shop the Summer RV Palooza now at bishes.com/Utah RV Palooza. 3 days only, June 8th through the 10th at the Layton Hills Mall. Sponsored by Bish's RV.
Elder abuse often goes unnoticed and unreported, especially when older adults are isolated and lack access to resources. Well, on June 15th from 10 to noon, you're invited to a virtual event hosted by the Utah Department of Health and Human Services and Aging Service Partners, because June 15th is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. The focus of this year's conference is working together in collaborative partnership to educate, report, and prevent financial exploitation and other forms of maltreatment against older and vulnerable adults in Utah. You'll hear from a wonderful lineup of notable keynote speakers, including an introduction from Utah's Governor Cox. Please help protect Utah's older and more vulnerable adults, not just on one day, but every day. Attend this virtual event on June 15th from 10 a.m. to noon and find out what you can watch for. Text SENIOR to 57500 to register. That's SENIOR to 57500. Take a break from financial worries. Meet the Mountain America Debt Consolidation Expert for a chance to win a vacation package. Details at macu.com/debt rescue.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Here's Heather Kelly.
We have emergency traffic in Utah County. Northbound I-15 is pretty much at a standstill from 12th North all the way past the on-ramp from the Timpanogos Highway in Lehigh. That is due to a multi-vehicle crash, more than half a dozen vehicles involved. It had shut down all lanes of travel for a while. Now they finally got all the vehicles moved over, blocking the HOV lane and left shoulder. But it's going to take a while for all that traffic to clear out. From now through July, get triple rewards points on gas and travel with Visa Platinum Rewards Card from Cyprus Credit Union. Visit cypruscu.com to learn more. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
And for our KSL weather report, we're looking at some more warm days coming up with highs in the 80s. It looks like we'll still have some cloud cover, but smaller chances of rain. Right now, it's 71 degrees at KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com. This is Utah's all-day companion for news.
Summer water safety. Special coverage with David Dujanovic.
We are live along the Ogden River. We've taken the show on the road. Take a listen.
This is so soothing to me. This is the white noise that I fall asleep to.
And we were surprised this morning when we set up shop out here right along Valley Drive in Ogden with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation that the Ogden River does not seem to be running that high. It sure is beautiful, but still a lot of reason. There's a lot of water this year and always a lot of reasons to keep your family safe around water.
It doesn't need to be raging. It doesn't need to be deep to be dangerous. The temperature of the water, in my experience, has been far more problematic for me than anything other. It's that shock as soon as you get in.
The temperature of the water.
And Utah has a lot of cold water. It's basically, there's not many places. Unless you're August down in Moab, the water's usually a little chilly.
Ty Hunter with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation joining us here this morning. He's the the boating program manager. We were just talking about boating safety with the law enforcement chief and what to take on a boat with you. And I want to take a more in-depth look at life jackets with you, Ty. I think a lot of people either don't have enough life jackets with them, they don't know how to properly fit themselves or their child for a life jacket.
They buy the cheapest one available.
Yes.
Give us a lesson in Life Jacket 101, Ty.
Well, Life Jacket 101. I mean, just again, thanks for the invite to have us come in here. So with that, and yes, Life Jacket 101. Out of anything I can put in there, I use analogies, and I like having things. If you've got a favorite pair of shoes or a favorite pair of pants that you like to wear, or a shirt, why is it your favorite thing? Because it's comfortable. You like wearing it. It's not a burden.
Yeah.
And that's really what you need to be looking for when you shop for a life jacket. If it doesn't fit you, you're not going to want to wear it. If it's uncomfortable, you're not wanting to wear it. So sometimes buying that cheapest one you get, you're going to get what you get with that.
Yeah.
But I also know that there's a budget to go in. So a cheap one's better than none at all.
Right.
Really when it comes along with that. But the biggest thing is to look and push for that comfort and make sure that it fits you with that. And then lastly, just make sure that you have a U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket too, because it's gone through the testing regimen in its development to where it has the proper amount of flotation in it to keep a person afloat, and or has that right amount of flotation in the forward portion of the vest or in the back portion of the vest.
I've been a whitewater rafting guide my entire life, so I've given the life jacket talk about 1 million times. And one thing that I've noticed over the years I've done this, nobody wears it snug enough. Everybody basically wants it to fit loose and comfortable, but practically speaking, if you want it to do its job, you got to cinch that bad boy up.
Yes, if you're riding around on the deck of a boat and things there, you can have it a little loose and have that that little bit improved comfort level. But when you're going into the water, you're cinching it up, and I liken that as just cinching a saddle on a horse. You're going to get that tight because you don't want to end up between that horse's legs. So
I've seen parents, with paddle boards, with kayaks, or on boats, put their toddlers, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, in arm floaties that they bought at a big box store for probably $1.99, and I don't like it. It's not safe. You're obviously there, so you have the money to spend on your outdoor fun, but why are you not spending the money on your child's safety? So floaties on arms, if a child under the age of 12 is floating around on a lake with those, that can't be legal, Ty.
Well, it's we don't have anything that states. I mean, when they're on a boat, when they've gone out on a boat and they're originating from a boat, they have to have that
a life jacket.
Have a U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket.
Okay.
Regular swimmers that are out there's no regulation for it, and really the biggest thing is just getting awareness out there that yes, get you a good life jacket. And if they're really stuck on wanting to go the floaty style, there's a U.S. Coast Guard approved floaty style life jacket. It's called a pedal jumper, and it has the flotation that's on the arms, the straps, and a little bit more flotation on the chest area of the kid. Fun, bright, vibrant colors, and just something the kids really, really like with that.
The technology has changed so much in life jackets. They've gotten way more comfortable. They keep you, they're far more buoyant. But there was one for paddle boarders, I think, and is it you wear it around your waist, was it?
Yes, there's a waist pack one. Now, I'm going to put in there with it. For paddle boarders, this is paddle boarders on flat water, on reservoirs and lakes type of thing. But they have a fanny pack type of style of inflatable life jacket. It is just really, really small. It's probably no more than 1.5 inches tall, probably that in its thickness, and it goes around your waist. I mean, a lot of things we hear is we don't want to put a life jacket on. It ruins my tan lines. It's bulky. It's out of the way.
Because if that paddleboard scoots away from you and you're stranded in the middle of the lake and the wind picks up and your paddleboard's gone and you're out there dog paddling your way to safety, you're going to wish you would have spent the money on something or have it on. I always have my life vest on when I'm paddleboarding. I love to paddleboard. It's my newfound boyfriend, if you will. I mean, that is it. I'm dating my paddleboard on the water. I love this thing. So I wear my life jacket no matter what, because if that paddleboard scoots away from me, I know I tie it to my wrist, but you just never know.
Well,
you know,
thank you for being a good example with that. We need more people to take that extra effort, get it. These inflatable jackets, I mean, they range anywhere from $50 to $100 on that. It's a great investment, and really we're looking at it. These are for the people that can swim, and you can be in the water with this on. You can fall off your paddleboard, get back on your paddleboard. But if you get separated from it, or you get separated from your kayak with that, you have this extra flotation. You can pull that jerk cord on it. It'll pop it up, and then that'll help you float in the time when you get tired.
Is there a good rule of thumb how long or how often I should switch out my life jackets?
Well, the biggest thing is you need to make sure they're serviceable with that. So if it is a traditional life jacket, you want to make sure there's no rips, tears, the zippers work, the buckles all work, the straps are all in not frayed and starting to pull apart. That's the biggest thing you need to have there, is make sure that it's serviceable with that. With the inflatables, I mean, they're kind of like a car. If you don't change your oil in the car and do the maintenance of the car's not going to run for very, very long. And that's the thing, when you start moving into these inflatable, these newer specialized life jackets, you need to do the maintenance on them a couple of times during the year.
Ty Hunter with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation. Thanks for walking us through Life Jacket 101. And you have a website as well we can direct our listeners
to.
Yes,
out of anything, go to boating.utah.gov.
All right, we've got much more safety tips, water safety tips for you and your family in the next hour and 45 minutes of the David Dujanovic Show, as we broadcast live from just a safe distance away from the Ogden River. And Kevin Eubank, meteorologist Kevin Eubank, calling the show because we looked at the forecast after we got here and we realized there's lightning bolts. There's lightning bolts in the forecast for the next several days. So he's going to talk to us about the dangers of lightning around water.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Hi, it's Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
Why should you start your day with us?
We have decades of news experience between us.
And we take your trust seriously.
Come here for news tomorrow, 5 to 9.
On KSL.
Summer 2023 will be one to remember.
Mike Pence and Chris Christie set to enter the race.
Governor Cox is actively looking for trade away from China.
Brace for higher gas prices. It's a summer to camp out on KSL. Tim and Amanda have breaking news, mornings 5 to 9. David Dujanovic and Boyd Matheson talk about the biggest stories during the day. And you get updates and Jeff Kaplan's Minute of News from 3 to 7 on the drive home. The summer of 2023 will be on KSL News Radio.
Everything's changing so fast these days, and that's a great thing. Back in my day, we were lucky to get one video to load on a desktop computer, but now there's the Xfinity 10G network. That means the fastest internet with faster speeds rolling out every day, and internet that can power a house full of devices with ultra-low lag. So while one person streams a movie from their room, another can play video games in the basement while another TikToks in the kitchen. It's the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Through July 21st, new customers can get started with gig internet on the Xfinity 10G network. Plus, get Xfi Complete with unlimited data and Wi-Fi equipment included, all for just $30 a month for 2 years with no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data. Go to xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Gig Wi-Fi requires gig internet, and Xfi Gateway. Actual speeds vary.
This week's movie show is brought to you by Sound Sleep Medical. Get a free sleep consultation and a free sleep consultation by tuning in on Friday morning. Sound Sleep Medical with 7 locations in Utah.
If you're getting new gutters, make absolutely sure that you don't get screwed. I mean literally, don't get screwed. Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors. And every single gutter company out there uses screws to hold their gutters together at the corners and downspouts. They use screws because they're fast and cheap and easy. but man, they're terrible for your gutters, aside from possibly cutting your hand. They also loosen and corrode over time because they're not made from the same metal as the gutters. At RGS Exteriors, we've been installing gutters for 70 years now, and we don't use screws. We only use permanent, strong, and unobtrusive rivets. They're made from the same material as the gutters, so they won't oxidize and they won't corrode. They'll also never loosen. Your hand is safe too. Did I mention they look amazing? So don't get screwed. Call RGS and get riveted gutters. Our number is 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsutah.com. That's 801-280-3110 or rgsutah.com.
When interest rates rise, it's not all bad. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, helping you understand why now is the time to purchase an annuity. Annuities are the only products that will guarantee you an income you can't outlive. It's those guarantees that are tied to Treasury rates. And as we know, those rates are at 40-year highs. If you're in or within 10 years of retirement, use this to your advantage. This is exactly why it's possible to receive up to a 25% upfront bonus for income, and why it is possible to receive up to 10% per year for income growth. It's because of the high interest rates. Don't let anyone tell you it's not true, but also don't wait. Interest rates and these guarantees will eventually come down. Call 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600. Or visit TrajanWealth.com.
Guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
If you've got a honey-do list with electrical, plumbing, heating, or air conditioning projects on it, Any Hour Services can help. Call Any Hour Services, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air. anyhourservices.com.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Alexandria Bonilla. First, the Supreme Court ruled Alabama's congressional maps violate the Voting Rights Act. Second, the date for the special election to replace Congressman Chris Stewart is set for September 5th, and candidates can begin throwing their name into the ring. Third, the Davis School District is facing backlash after removing the Bible from some schools following a bill to review content available in them. Right now, it's 71 degrees in Salt Lake City. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Summer water safety. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
We're live along the Ogden River here in Ogden, Utah, of course, and it's beautiful. I want our listeners who are just tuning in to hear what we're hearing out here, Dave.
You're going to put people to sleep if they have to listen to this.
Grateful.
So soothing.
Grateful for our partnership with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation. If you missed our discussion about boating safety, you will want to podcast that portion of the show off your favorite podcast platform before you hit the water again with family and friends. Some great advice, things you haven't thought of, things you need on your boat. Also, listen to the podcast. We just got done talking about life jacket safety and the importance of wearing a life jacket, and new life jackets that are on the market that make it feel like, you know, they're a little easier to wear.
Yeah, they're way more comfortable.
Yeah.
The technology has gotten incredible. They're not as big and bulky as they used to be. And there's some affordable options as well. There's some really nice ones that are expensive. You get what you pay for, no question. But, yeah, there's some good stuff right now.
Lots of things to think about when it comes to our safety around water. And when I was driving up here to Ogden, Kevin, I was listening to Tim Hughes on Utah's Morning News, and he reminded me that there are lightning bolts in the forecast for the next several days. And I just thought, we don't talk enough about weather safety. And I remember there was a time when I was on the water at Strawberry Reservoir with my family, and we were on a boat, and the winds kicked up, and we could barely get back to shore and get that boat off the water. And then before we knew it, the lightning was moving in. So let's talk about lightning safety with our favorite meteorologist in the whole wide world, Kevin Eubank. Good morning.
Hey, guys. How are you? Looks like you're at a peaceful place this morning.
Blue skies. It's gorgeous.
Well, for now, Debbie, for now.
Okay, so I keep trying to organize a pickleball game, and you keep sending me thunder showers. I'm so over it. But tell me, okay, what are we looking at?
Well, first off, it's a rare pattern that we're in. That when we get these kind of thunderstorms, this feels more like the end of July and towards August. But it is a very interesting pattern, and really for the next 7 days, we've got these little scattered thunderstorms. And so the fact that you're talking lightning safety, it's critically important. We have every year we get deaths because of lightning strikes across the country, and here in Utah, it happens often, regrettably. And so we want to tell you a little bit about what you can do. The first thing is one of probably the easiest things to do. And this is going to sound like self-promotion. It's totally not. You can pick the weather app of your choice. But KSL's weather app allows you to turn on what are called lightning alerts, and they actually will allow you to get an alert on your phone when lightning comes within a certain parameter that you can define. So all of a sudden, if you're out boating or you're doing whatever, your phone's going to buzz and say, hey, there's lightning within 5 miles of you. And it really gives you a good idea as to what you've got going on. The general rule is if you can see a lightning strike or if you can hear the thunder, you're close enough to be hit by lightning. Some people go, oh, the thunderstorm's way over there, so it's not going to get me. Well, lightning goes way ahead of a thunderstorm. So you can get actually lightning strikes miles in advance of the actual thunder cell where it's storming. So you've got to be aware of the weather conditions. It's the number one thing that you can do so that you're vigilant and you understand what could happen in the afternoon or in the morning or whenever those storms are. So being aware is number one. And then number two, some real common sense. If you're on the water, get off the water during a lightning storm. As quickly as you can get to shore, you are not safe in a boat out on a lake during a lightning storm for a variety of reasons, but one of them, lightning. And then if you're out in the open, you need to get to shelter. The safest place in a lightning storm is indoors away from the windows. So those are the primary things you can do as quickly as possible to be safe during lightning storms.
So, Kevin, when you're out on the water and maybe something sweeps in quickly, are you saying, like, you may not have time to get all the way back to the dock or the marina, you just got to find your way onto the shore somehow, even if it's in maybe an unexpected place, an unexpected dock.
Beaching your boat.
Yeah. And the trick is you want to stay out of the water because lightning strikes on the water can electrify the water. So, again, it all depends. It's so circumstantial on what you're doing specifically. We speak of the ideal. The ideal is inside shelter and other things. But you're right, Dave. There are circumstances where things happen very, very quickly. And so, yes, you want to make sure that you can try to get to shore. But if you can't, hunker down in that boat. Remember, your boat is fiberglass perhaps, but the bimini top and everything else, that's aluminum. That's metal.
Yeah.
That's what's going to get hit. So you don't want to be touching those things or holding on to those things. You really want to try to disconnect yourself and your family or group from anything that's going to conduct electricity. And then the other thing that happens a lot is if lightning is to strike, it doesn't have to hit the person. If I'm standing on the ground is wet, lightning hits the ground, the water is going to conduct that electricity, and I can be struck. So you've got to be aware that it can happen in a lot of places. If someone gets struck by lightning, the most likely thing is their heart is going to stop. The fastest thing you can do to help someone who's been struck by lightning is CPR. They're not going to conduct electricity. Some people think, oh, they got hit by lightning. If I touch them, I'm going to get shot. That's not true. They're fine. You can touch them, and you can start CPR immediately and seek medical attention immediately, because that's the fastest way to try to help someone who's been hit by lightning is to try to get their heart started and resuscitate and get them breathing again.
With many days of lightning storms and many more in the forecast, and talking about water safety with our friends at the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation, it's great to have meteorologist Kevin Eubank join this discussion right now and talk about lightning safety. Kev, Debbie Downer moments will litter the next few seconds of this conversation. I mean, I remember covering a story of a couple, I think they were in the Uinta Mountains, if I recall, and they were sitting in like lawn chairs, something of that nature, you know, and the lightning, because they were metal, the lightning got them, and it just is a heartbreaking story. And then in the 90s, I remember traveling south to the Price area where a cowboy I mean, he may take offense to me calling him a cowboy. He's a cowboy, a big cowboy hat. He was on a horse. He was riding in the middle of a field, and there were very few clouds, beautiful clouds. In fact, just maybe 1 or 2 clouds overhead, white, fluffy clouds, and no kidding, he got struck by lightning. And he said, when I interviewed him, and he lived, it unfortunately killed his horse, but he lived. And he said to me, Deb, it was pretty, the skies were clear. But what I'm wondering is if maybe an hour or so later, that's when the storm was moving in and the lightning was just ahead of it.
Yeah. And a lot of times that can happen. I mean, lightning is a force of nature, and sometimes, as with all nature, it's pretty hard to predict. Some statistics for you: the chance of getting hit by lightning are less than 1 in a million. And 90% of individuals who get hit by lightning or are struck or electrocuted by the lightning, they survive. Only 10% die. So it is survivable, and it is avoidable, and the odds are very low. So don't use Debbie Downer's depression moment about going outdoors stop you from going outdoors. You've got to be vigilant. You've got to be careful, but we all take risks, right? We go to the park. Well, there's a chance the tree's going to fall on you. We hop in a car. There's a chance that someone else is going to hit you. Don't stop. Don't let those things stop you from going to the
This is why we have you, Kevin. This is why we have you. This is why we have you.
Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. And you can take steps to mitigate the risks by being aware of the conditions, aware of what's going on, and then making good choices. And again, those good choices can help everybody. If you're the one in the group that's being the one, if you're the one making the good choice, you can really benefit the entire group. I've been with people that they've said, hey, listen, I don't want to be here right now. That storm's coming. Let's go somewhere else and get there. And then minutes later, boom, it was on us, and it was crazy. And I was so grateful someone spoke up and took the initiative to get that group into a shelter. So speak up. Be aware of what's happening, and speak up not just for you, but for the group you're with.
Kevin Eubank, thank you for joining us, KSL meteorologist.
Yeah, Kev, thank you. Always appreciate you and your great advice and your sound advice. And if you happen to tune in late, again, you can podcast this entire show. Lots of great water safety tips, including life jackets and how to fit them, safety around lightning and what to do if you see lightning in the area, and the alerts that you can get on your phone that will make you aware that lightning is approaching where you're at. Straight ahead, lots more coverage with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation. We're going to launch into many more conversations about water safety, including safety on the popular stand-up paddleboards and kayaks next.
10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Alexandria Bonilla. KSL's top story this hour. We're still waiting for more details about the 2 people that were found dead in Hiram from gunshot wounds. The Cache County Sheriff's Office says the married couple was found dead in the home by their 16-year-old daughter. Investigators say there is no risk to the public, and we are waiting for police to provide more details. And backlash against pulling the Bible from some Davis School District schools. The Utah lawmaker who sponsored the bill that called for an age-appropriate review of all materials in Utah schools says this was not what the law was supposed to do. A concerned parent is also speaking out against the Bible ban.
I think the way that the Bible was challenged and the way the committee made the decision wasn't accurate. It wasn't done on good policy.
This parent, speaking out at a rally at the Capitol yesterday, says school administrators and policymakers haven't been able to define what defines vulgar and violent. They also haven't defined what specific passages in the Bible were considered vulgar and violent. So she thinks there is a transparency issue. And our top national story this hour from ABC News, California's governor is proposing a 28th Amendment to the United States Constitution.
Governor Gavin Newsom argues his plan for a 28th Amendment would take a stand against gun violence and a lack of action by Congress. It would raise the minimum age to buy a gun to 21 nationwide, implement universal background checks, establish a waiting period to buy a gun, and prevent civilian access to what the governor calls assault weapons. 2/3 of states would have to call for the proposal in order for it to be considered. It's an idea that will be a non-starter in many Republican-run states. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Governor Newsom tweeting, quote, "The American people are sick of Congress's inaction." And your money at this moment, it looks like the Dow is up 149 and the S&P is up 24. NASDAQ is up 100 and 10:34. Coming up, some more warm weather for us. KSL weather's next. KSL News Time, 10:33.
Start your days with knowledgeable, friendly voices telling you about the latest news and weather out there.
Hi, this is Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon
In the business of waking you up each morning from 5 to 9.
on KSL News Radio.
Hi, this is Dan, the laptop man from PC Laptops. Are you suffering from excruciating headaches, anxiety, and insomnia? You may be suffering from CMS, crappy monitor syndrome. That old computer screen from years ago could be the problem, exposing you to massive amounts of radiation frying your brain. At PC Laptops, we only carry screens that we've tested on our own eyeballs. Right now, purchase any PC Laptops desktop with an external monitor and get a free size upgrade. That's right. For example, if you buy a 22-inch monitor, you get an upgrade to 24 inches for no extra charge. Buy a 24, get an upgrade to a 27-inch monitor for free. We have brand new PC Laptops desktop computers starting from $11.99 or $29 a month, backed by a lifetime warranty. And to make it extra sweet, we're doing 0 interest for a year on approved credit. So run into any one of our PC Laptops locations right now or check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. Because at PC Laptops, we love you.
Hey, summer's here, and it's only getting hotter. Get 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for a year on a new day and night air conditioning system.
Don't put it off. Summer is here and it's hot. Have a new day and night air conditioner and furnace system installed with 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 12 months. Enjoy savings and a cool, comfortable home for a full year before you even have to make a payment. Go to dayandnightcomfort.com for a day and night elite dealer near you. The difference is day and night.
Martin's Collision Repair. 50,000 cars repaired and counting. Just check Martin's 5-star online reviews.
Lee posted, Martin's Collision did an excellent job. The car looked perfect when the work was completed. I will always work with Martin's.
Hi, I'm Tiago Martins. Check Martin's Facebook page or martinscollision.com for your 5-star Martin's experience. On State Street in Norham and in Salem, we work with all insurance companies. The right repair, the right paint, the right choice. Martin's Collision Repair.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Here's Heather Kelly.
We still have significant delays northbound I-15 in Utah County. This is northbound I-15 between 1200 North and Timpanogos Highway. It's due to an earlier multi-vehicle crash. The remnants of it is still on the left shoulder, but all the lanes are now open. Speeds are definitely improving, but at least it's not wall-to-wall and nearly stopped traffic like we had before. There's also a minor fender bender southbound I-15 near 4500 South in Murray. We have cars on both the right and left shoulders, but no delays. Save with Burt Brothers on brand name tires, up to $150 off select Goodyear tires, up to $140 off select Bridgestone tires, and $130 off select Firestone tires. Burt Brothers, complete auto care done better. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
And for our KSL weather report, the rest of today will be sunny with some scattered showers. Highs will reach the 80s. Right now, it's 73 degrees at KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com. This is Utah's all-day companion for news.
Summer water safety. Special coverage with David Dujanovic.
We're live along the Ogden River. It's a beautiful day to be talking about water safety, and listen to that. That's the river. Dave and I taking the show on the road throughout the month of June to keep your family safe. We're live with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation, and we want to talk about a really popular sport. It's grown a lot in popularity, that's stand-up paddleboarding, and also kayaking. And they're making these devices inflatable now, so we can pack them everywhere. I mean, maybe they've been inflatable for years and years, and I just missed it. But really, I see so many inflatable kayaks and paddleboards out on our lakes and reservoirs. I thought we got to talk about how they're different and how we stay safe on them.
And not all inflatables are created equally. I mean, I'm telling you, Deb, I've had an inflatable kayak for years, a ducky that I will take through some serious whitewater rapids. totally safe because it's self-bailing, it's high-end, it's strong. Then there's other ones that a little more sketchy that I wouldn't trust to go out on a lake. So you got to make sure you know if you're going to take an inflatable kayak out, what you're getting into. Is it high quality? Are you going to be going down some rapids, or what is it going to be used for? And make sure it's appropriate.
And you did a little homework for us on this. What'd you find?
Yeah, focusing mostly on the stand-up paddleboarding, and this is something that I haven't done a lot of.
You need to come to my house.
You're the pro.
Yeah,
You're the pro.
We'll take my paddle boards out. I love paddleboarding because paddleboards don't have a motor.
Yeah.
Boats have
You're the
motors that
motor.
need to be fixed. It is a simple outdoor hobby. I've loved it. I've been doing it for a few years now, but I do know it comes with some hazards.
Okay, I'll be interested to hear how many of these that you check off.
Okay.
So I found some of these safety tips. Apparently it's called SUP.
Stand-up paddleboards.
Paddleboard.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a real thing. That's how they're calling it. But I found this YouTuber with some safety tips. She has an English accent, so you know she's pretty reliable. This is her first safety tip.
Okay.
Now, when most people think about SUP safety equipment, they think about a leash. Now, a leash is a really, really important piece of equipment when it comes to paddleboarding. It's what attaches you to your board. So if you do fall in, your board stays within close reach, giving you something to hold on to and allowing you to quickly climb back on. Now, if you've fallen in, you'll know that generally what happens is your board launches off in the opposite direction to you. If you've ever tried swimming holding a paddle, you'll know it's not easy. And on a windy day, your board can quickly be blown away from you. So by wearing a leash ensures it stays close to you at all times.
Yeah, you leash your ankle. I leash my ankle
Are you
to
good
the
at it?
paddleboard. Yeah.
Unlike your
yeah.
your treadmill where you're supposed to put the leash on there that you totally ignore.
I'm all about having fun when I get on the lake, not working to swim across the lake to get my paddleboard that's been blown away. So absolutely, you got to strap that leash. It's like Velcro. You got to strap it around your ankle.
The second one we've been talking about all morning long, the PFD, the personal flotation device. It's a life jacket.
Now, being a confident swimmer myself, if I'm just paddling, staying close to shore, but if I'm paddling further afield, or doing it downwinder, or paddling in more exposed conditions, then yes, I definitely would wear a PFD. Now, I often hear people saying, I'm not going to wear a PFD, they're big and bulky and just get in the way when I'm paddling. But really, that's not an excuse, because there are some great PFDs on the market at the moment that don't restrict your paddling at all.
Steve Bullock is joining us right now from the Division of Outdoor Recreation. One thing that I heard so often when I was a river guide was the overconfidence people had in their swimming abilities. And that was their reasoning to not wear a life jacket or to keep it loose, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I hear that a lot when I'm out on patrols and I'm talking to people and trying to remind them, encourage them to wear life jackets.
I'm a great swimmer.
I'm on the swim team. My kids are amazing swimmers. They're both 10 and 12. They're on the swim team. But anytime we go to open water is just different. We have cold water factors. There's not a lifeguard on duty. It's not 12 feet deep. Several times it's hundreds of feet deep. So there's unmarked hazards. Wind is another factor, right? You were just talking about with lightning. Along with that, a lot of times you get wind. There's an incident just happened recently up at Bear Lake. One of the state park rangers up there just rescued 2 kids that were on stand-up paddleboards near shore. The wind picked up, blew them across the lake. They got separated because they didn't have the leash on, like we were just talking about, from their paddleboards. Luckily, they were wearing life jackets, and the ranger was able to pluck them out of the water in a near hypothermic state and save their life. Just this weekend, I have 100 times where I've pulled people out of the lakes when I've been out on the water. They capsize their canoe, they sit on top paddleboard, they get separated because the wind blows it away. If they're wearing a life jacket, they're in a lot better situation. When it comes to paddleboarding, it's a great sport. That's what I love to do. I take my family kayaking. We have some sit-on-top kayaks that we picked up at a big box store, right? Not a pretty affordable entry price. But what I did do is I made sure that I bought them some comfortable life jackets that they would want to wear, and that when they fall off, then they're comfortable in the water, they can have fun, they feel safe, they're floating, and it's a great, it's a peace of mind. Life jackets only do you any good if you're wearing them. That's so true. We see a lot of paddleboarders that are, working on their tan, they're looking good out on the water. and they've strapped their life jacket under the webbing on the front of their paddleboard.
I see that all the time.
Right?
It drives me crazy.
Because you are required, again, we talked about this earlier, you have to have a life jacket for every person on a boat, so you are required to have a life jacket with you. If you're 12 and under, have to wear one. We encourage everybody to wear them. I think Ty Hunter was talking earlier about inflatable ones that are like waist belt ones that are great to have. If you fall in, they don't automatically inflate on some of those. You can pull them, but if you need it, you have it. We encourage people to wear a life jacket. There's a lot of great options out there. It's great to be on the water. Again, we have some amazing, beautiful places in Utah. It's relaxing to be out on the water, to feel the wave action that's going on, to feel the sun, to feel the cool water on your body.
Chief, we did a little research at the D2 Research Department. That's the David Dujanovic Research Department.
Okay.
On Amazon, we found adult life jackets anywhere from about $25 to $150, $12 for kids up to $53. You can go down the street to Walmart. They're anywhere from $8 to $55 for grown-up ones, or kiddos between $7 and $30. Does that sound about the right? $7 sounds super cheap. I don't
It's
know.
pretty affordable, yeah.
Yeah.
What you really want to look for when you're purchasing life jackets is the proper size and fit, and that it's U.S. Coast Guard approved. So look at the labeling. If you're buying something online and it doesn't have labeling on there, then maybe you want to look elsewhere. If you go into a Walmart or a boating store or a marine product store, you're looking at some reputable companies like NRS Online that do a lot of river jackets. Those are all going to be Coast Guard approved. They're going to explain what the use is for, the weight sizes that are appropriate, and there's some life jackets that you could wear that are good for your boat to meet that life jacket requirement, but if you're water skiing or wake surfing, it's not an allowed use for that. So you have to really kind of look at the label to see what you're getting. But the most important thing is to find one that you're going to wear, because if you're sticking it under the seat, then it's not going to do you any good.
Yeah. We ran out of time, but Chief Bullock, real quickly, just 30 seconds. I see several people in the last couple of weeks paddleboarding with their dogs on their paddleboard. No life jacket on. They've got Fido on board, and I just think that's a recipe for disaster. First of all, the dog doesn't even have a life jacket on. If it goes in the water, that person is you're generally going to want to dive in after their dog. I mean, this cannot be. That's just not safe, right?
You know, dogs in water are great, right? They love it. I bought a life jacket for my dog. She's a good swimmer, but she can swim longer and safer with a life jacket on, right? I don't have to worry about her. Unfortunately, I remember one incident that I was involved in. It's been a couple years up at Strawberry Reservoir where we had two people that shared a kayak, went out on Strawberry Reservoir kind of in cold water. The dog was wearing a life jacket and they weren't, and we were looking for them for about a week, and we were finally able to recover them. So we want people to wear them. The dog survived because it had a life jacket. They would have survived as well.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, Steve Bullock. Yeah, stand-up paddleboards, very popular, especially here in Utah. There's some great lakes, reservoirs that we spend a lot of time on, and it's increasing in popularity. Just make sure you're doing it safely.
Live from the Ogden River, the David Dujanovic Show on the road for KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Before Dave and Debbie get started each day, this station is all news all morning.
And later today, we follow up on those stories as you drive home.
Get important news all morning and all afternoon.
Here on KSL News Radio.
Hey, folks, let me tell you about Free Frazzle Friday. I love my Frazzle. I grab mine at Maverick. That's the one that's right by my house, and I love going to grab a Frazzle, especially on these warm days. It's a slushie. It's a slushie from a company here that started in Utah. They're headquartered in Utah, and they want to introduce you to one as well by giving you a free 12-ounce Frazzle on Fridays. So make sure you go. Like I said, I go to Maverick. There's all sorts of places that they carry the Frazzle brand. FreeFrazzleFriday.com. You can download the Frazzle app to find out where the participating locations are. I love the passion fruit, orange and guava mix. I like the pina colada, tiger's blood. I like to even use it as a little flavor shot in my Diet Mountain Dew. I will find every reason to drink a Frazzle, so check it out. Free Frazzle Friday, so go grab one tomorrow.
When it comes to your electrical system, do you know the warning signs to look for? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and it's okay if you don't know, but here are a few things that you might not even realize could be a sign of a bigger problem. Wall plates that are hot to the touch, discoloration around switches or outlets, if you hear crackling or popping or buzzing around switches or outlets, a breaker that trips a lot, switches that feel loose when you operate them, if your lights dim or flicker when a major appliance comes on, if your plugs fall out of the wall easily. You know, you're not supposed to have to bend the prongs out on a plug just to get it to stay in the wall. If you notice any of these things, you should consider having a licensed electrician check your system out. If you don't know anyone, Any Hour Services has put together a radio-only special for any homeowners listening. One of our licensed electricians will perform a comprehensive electrical inspection and give you a full written report for only $29. But you have to mention this ad when you call. To schedule your comprehensive electrical inspection by a licensed electrician for only $29, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7300. That's 801-443-7300. Any Hour Services.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Are you looking to buy a home this summer? Do you feel stuck saving up for a big down payment? For a limited time, Mortgage Mike and City Creek Mortgage are offering up to a $4,000 down payment grant. Give Mortgage Mike and City Creek Mortgage a call at 801-900-HOME today to hear more about their $4,000 down payment grant. Some terms and conditions apply, so make sure and give them a call and get started before this grant goes away. City Creek Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS 85855 79053.
I am a soul line dance instructor.
This is Rhonda.
I just love dancing, so I was always willing to dance through the pain, but it was really starting to catch up with me. I've had foot pain, leg pain, everything pain.
And this is Rhonda's Good Feet story.
I was using any and everything that I could to help alleviate the pain.
None of that worked. Until
since visiting the Good Feet store and incorporating the arch supports into my life, I definitely have not felt the pain. I can't even really verbalize just how much better I feel. My mood and my energy has just drastically improved. I'm still actually in awe wearing the arch supports and being pain-free now. I am able to dance longer. Dancing is just a joy.
Now that is one heck of a Good Feet story.
I do want to tell everyone about it.
And now you have.
So, yeah.
See how we can help you with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Stop by the Good Feet store in Farmington, Riverton, or Sandy for a free fitting. Call 1-800-NEW-FEET or visit mygoodfeet.com.
Smart, connected, modern. Discover life-enhancing independent living services at Trio South Ogden. They do things a little differently there because you're different. With everything you need to support your best self, you'll find that joy isn't just for the young, it's for the young of heart. Trio South Ogden's signature programs provide a unique approach to wellness that brings living well and well-being to life. To learn more, contact Trio South Ogden at 801-475-4004 or visit triosouthodden.com.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Alexandria Bonilla. First, the Kilauea volcano in Hawaii is erupting again, but all activity is in a closed area of the state's biggest island. Second, the special election to fill Congressman Chris Stewart's spot is set for September 5th. Third, a Hiram couple is dead, their 16-year-old daughter finding the pair. Police are still unsure of what happened. Right now, it is 73 degrees and sunny in Salt Lake City. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Summer water safety. Special coverage with David Dujanovic.
In our 11 o'clock hour, we're going to continue to go in-depth on summer water safety tips. I was just wrapping up a conversation with Chief Bullock of the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation, Dave, during the commercial break, and we were talking about the legal age to drive a boat, and so we're going to get into that discussion in our 11 o'clock hour. He's got lots more safety tips, like picking the brain of somebody who knows the law when it comes to water safety like the back of his hand. So we're going to do more of that in our 11 o'clock hours. We broadcast live from the Ogden River. It's been a beautiful day out here.
Yeah, you can hear it in the background. If it's not just white noise. It's nothing wrong with your radio right now. It's the beautiful river just in the background. We've just loved being here. We're just outside Rainbow Gardens. The Dinosaur Park is close as well, so we've had a great time. It's beautiful weather.
We're going to talk potholes right now with Utah Department of Transportation, because in order to get to these great spots around Utah to recreate with your family, you have to drive on our roads, and there's been a lot of potholes and complaints about potholes, and one of the biggest complaints that we've had in our newsroom has come to us courtesy our very own producer, Caitlin Johnston, who launched her car through a couple of potholes a couple of weeks ago. We haven't heard the end of it, so we want our listeners to hear what Caitlin went through. It was really harrowing because you lost a couple of tires to this.
It was traumatic.
Tell us what happened.
Well, I was just driving to Price because I'm from there. I go there all the time in Spanish Fork Canyon, US 6. It was around midnight because I just decided to go late, which I don't normally do. Dark. Can't see things. So I was at the summit, which if you've never been in there, it's kind of, I don't know, the middle of the canyon, I should say. And I hit the deepest pothole I have ever seen in my entire life, which I know that it's been there previously. Like, I knew it existed because it's kind of a thing.
But it was dark.
It was dark. I was zoning out. It was midnight. I was tired. I was just trying. I was like, okay, 30 minutes. I'm almost home. Hit it, and I immediately, it was like, boom, like bad. And I immediately knew that one of my tires were at least done, but it ripped both on my right side. So
it ripped your tires.
And then I pulled over. I was so lucky that I was near a gas station, like right around the corner. I had service. You do not have service in that canyon, so it could have been much, much worse. And I opened my door. I immediately heard air just leaving my tire, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna try to hopefully my dad's home so he can take a little midnight trip up and save me." But I was not the only one that hit that pothole. There were, I think, at the time, the gas station worker said I was number 5, and then the next day they said that I was number 9. The tow truck driver said that.
Wow.
So we
same
left
pothole.
my car. Yeah, we left my car overnight. My dad figured out the rest, and I just left.
And you had to buy new tires.
I got new tires. Yeah.
About 6 months before you were planning on getting new tires.
Yep.
Oh, a whole new set of tires.
$800.
John Gleason from the Utah Department of Transportation. Have your crews been out to fix that pothole from Hades? That 9 people that our producer is aware of hit on US 6. That's horrible.
That is horrible. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Caitlin. That's incredibly frustrating and just a scary situation when you hit a pothole that size. Yeah, I talked to our crews out there in that area, and they actually fixed it that weekend. So I'm sorry that you had to encounter that. We've had a lot of potholes across the state this year because of the extreme winter weather that we had all season long. That kind of accelerates the pothole issue once water seeps into the cracks of the pavement and the freeze-thaw cycle. That can really cause those potholes to form, and we've seen that a lot this year.
John, I'm not sure how many thousands of miles that you guys have to monitor, but I would guess it's significant. What do people do? Like, how do you keep track of that? Is there a way that we can communicate when we come upon one, or if there's just one that is growing and growing in size?
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. We have a Click and Fix app, UDOT Click and Fix app, where you can go drop a pin on the app at any location for any reason. If it's a pothole, signal timing that you want us to look at, dead, wildlife on the side of the road, anything like that, we'll go out and look at. And sometimes, unfortunately, these potholes can form fairly quickly, and that's why these maintenance projects are so important to us when we have the crack sealing projects that go around and try to keep that water out of the pavement. But especially in some of the older pavements, it's not always easy to do.
John Gleason with the Utah Department of Transportation. We're looking forward to having you on the line with us, talking about that pothole on US 6, Spanish Fork Canyon, that our producer Caitlin drove through. Her tires did not come out alive. She lost 2 tires in that situation late at night one night. And, of course, I mean, the journalist in me wants to ask you, John, on the spot, where does she file a claim to get her $800 back, or is she just out of luck? Does the state cough up money for people who say, hey, you know what, that pothole destroyed 2 tires, and now I'm out $800?
You know, a lot of times it's hard to recoup some of that money, but there is a claims process. It's generally considered an act of nature unless there's some type of negligence that can be demonstrated. But absolutely, there's a claims process through our office, and we look at every single one of the claims that come through. But you know, unfortunately, living in a state with the seasons that we have, potholes are you know, an unfortunate you know, part of life for
We're
us.
just glad she's okay.
They're just terrible. They're just terrible. They can be not only frustrating but dangerous too if you're swerving in and out of lanes to try to miss these potholes. So really glad Caitlin's okay, and sorry for the terrible inconvenience there.
I'll take credit for that pothole getting fixed based on my connection with you, John. Thank you
Somebody
for
called
passing
it
it on.
in, and they went out and fixed it. So maybe it was more than one person by the sounds of it.
John Gleason from the Utah Department of Transportation on Pothole Patrol with us today. Caitlin, we're sorry you're out $800. Maybe we can start a little.
It was going to happen anyway.
Don't you dare start a GoFundMe.
Oh, no, I'm starting
It's the price of driving a car. You got to replace tires. Come on.
I'm starting a little newsroom fund for Caitlin.
You softy.
Next, we're going to talk to KSL News Radio's political reporter Lindsay Aerts, because there's a developing story on the political front when it comes to Representative Chris Stewart resigning his position in Congress.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.
11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Alexandria Bonilla. KSL's top story this hour. Boaters are starting to get out on Utah's lakes and reservoirs with temperatures in the 80s, and the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation is reminding everyone about the required safety items needed on board.
What the law requires is anyone 12 years and under to have a life jacket on their body, wearing it, properly fastened and fitted.
Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation Chief of Law Enforcement Steve Bullock tells Dave and Dujanovic there also must be a life jacket in the boat for every adult on board. He also says anyone floating a river or stream in Utah must be wearing a life jacket according to the law. And our top national story this hour from ABC News, the world's most active volcano is attracting spectators. It's erupting again on the Big Island of Hawaii.
Kilauea's latest eruption has already added about 30 feet of new lava to the crater floor, a gorgeous glow from fountains of lava shooting up, some about 30 feet high, spewing lava into the air. Trade winds are now moving the volcanic fog and ash, away from the other islands like Oahu and Maui. The eruption is totally contained in Hawaii Volcanoes National Park, is not a threat to anyone, but crowds are arriving to get a glimpse of Earth's power from a distance. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 152, S&P is up 21, and the NASDAQ is up 110. Coming up, some more scattered showers. KSL weather's next. KSL News Time, 11:01.
This summer, the political season heats up.
By August, it'll be time for debates. Can you believe it?
We're planning coverage of the real issues, the important stories that impact how we live.
Listen each morning from 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
Inflation has pushed up the cost of just about everything, which means if you bought life insurance a few years ago, it might not be enough to protect your family today. Now is the time to get the insurance you need at a price you can afford. In a hurry? Don't worry. Call Select Quote now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's right. You can get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam in under an hour.
Call Select Quote at 1-800-613-8990. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now and get up to $2 million in instant, affordable, same-day coverage with no medical exam. That's 1-800-613-8990. Or go to SelectQuote.com now.
Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
This is Jeff Stout with Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. FHA has announced a significant reduction in mortgage insurance rates. This can be a game changer for some people. FHA rates are typically lower than conventional mortgage rates. Combine this with lower mortgage insurance and FHA is worth a look. FHA is especially attractive for low down payment, cash out, or credit issues. You don't have to be a first-time home buyer and you can refinance into or out of an FHA loan. Another attractive feature of an FHA loan is the ability to streamline refinance when rates come down. No appraisal needed, limited documentation, and low cost helps you lower your payment with minimal fuss. Call us today. Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple, 801-264-9494. That's 264-9494. Or on the web at finkmcgregor.com. NMLS 289115.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Any Hour Services can help unclog any drain in your house, whether you have a backup, a clog, or a slow drain you want fixed. Call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Here's Ricky Meese.
Salt Lake County freeways rolling along and looking good with no problems there. But up north, way up north, we have big delays southbound to I-15 in the Brigham City area. If you're traveling from SR 13's junction at Corinne down to Perry, anticipate long, slow backups. Make Father's Day easy and get the best gift ever, a blanket or robe from Minky Couture. Shop online at minkycouture.com or any Minky store. Best gift ever, Minky Couture. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
And the next few days will be much like today, scattered showers, but high temperatures. Right now, it's 73 degrees at KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com. Your all-day companion for news.
Dave and Dujanovic.
In the last 12 hours, there has been, well, maybe it's 18 hours now, several developments regarding the resignation of Representative Chris Stewart from the United States Congress. KSL News Radio's political reporter Lindsay Aerts has been covering this since the announcement was made. And now it has become official because he had to go through some steps. And she's going to walk us through what the special election is going to look like.
Yeah, he's resigning because of some health issues with his family, and he's decided to step down. Lindsay Aerts joining us right now. Lindsay, what's the latest?
Hi, guys. Well, I miss you. I'm in your studio right now, and you're not here because you're out by a river. So stay safe.
And it's a beautiful day to be out here in Ogden.
Here, listen to the rushing water.
Oh, it sounds so lovely.
Jelly?
Yeah. I really
Lindsay, you have young kids. This coverage is perfectly suited for you as we move forward into the 11 o'clock hour about water safety and summer fun. So keep an ear to our show as you are also covering this developing story about Representative Chris Stewart. So what do you know?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I'll tell you, I'm keeping my kids far away from the rushing water because that's terrifying. I was down near the Provo River the other day. It is running high and fast, so I get it. And you guys
Great
are doing,
advice.
Yeah, you guys are doing great work just to keep people informed about that. But let's talk about this CD2 race. We have had a number of candidates confirm this morning that they are running for Chris Stewart's race. We have now 3 Republicans who have confirmed. That is Greg Hughes has confirmed to me that he's running in this race.
Former House Speaker.
Former House Speaker. Yep. We have the Republican National Committee man, Bruce Huff, has confirmed to me that he's running in this race. And formerly, Becky Edwards confirmed to me that she was running in this race. Now, I've seen another name floating out there, Henry Eyring, who has confirmed to another outlet, but I have not confirmed with him, so I'm going to that's my next call, so I'm going to check with him. And then over on the Democrat side, Kathleen Reeby has confirmed to me that she is still running. Now, Utah lawmakers are in an interesting situation, and I hope I can explain this clearly. So lawmakers have to vote in a special session next Wednesday in order to change Utah's special election law so we can move all these dates around. Well, their vote happens at 4 o'clock next Wednesday. The filing deadline for candidates to jump in this race is also next Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So some might perceive a state lawmaker running in this race and also voting on this as a conflict of interest. Maybe we don't see it that way.
And Kathleen Reeby is a state lawmaker.
She is. And another name that's been rumored who told me he's waiting until Wednesday if he does file is Senator Todd Weiler. So these state lawmakers, who's a sitting state senator. These state lawmakers are kind of in a unique position where if they reveal it now, they could deal with some of this conflict of interest stuff. They could just recuse themselves from the vote if they wanted to do that. So I don't know which way Kathleen Reeby is going to go yet. We are talking in the next hour, so I'll have more information on Jeff Kaplan's afternoon news. But those are some of the names we know thus far. Handful of people have jumped in officially. Candidates have between today and next Wednesday to declare that they're running for this seat. So this is happening fast.
Remind me, Representative Stewart, when he had to give a resignation letter, essentially, I think it's irrevocable, which means he can't back out now, correct?
Yes, that is right. And he submitted that to the governor yesterday. So Chris Stewart is stepping down on September 15th. And we now know the dates of the special election. And there was all this drama yesterday about when we were going to hold it. And I reported early in the day, I caught wind that some of the negotiations up on Capitol Hill were to push back Utah's municipal elections in order to hold all these elections on the same day, and that is exactly what happened. So we're holding the primary on September 5th, the day after Labor Day. We're holding the general election November 21st. That's 2 days before Thanksgiving. And both the city's elections for every city in Utah and this special election for those in Congressional District 2 will happen on those same dates.
And this is very, very significant, Lindsay, because the current law that we have right now, basically, it's about a 7-month timeline at the earliest. If you followed all of the schedule and the current existing law, aren't we about 7 months out before at the earliest?
Yeah, if legislators change nothing, don't change anything, then the soonest the election could have been held would be March of next year. And
even longer.
Yeah, the legislature, and that's, again, because of the law the way it's written now. So the legislature, the governor, the powers that be are saying we do not want Utah's 2nd District to go unrepresented in Congress. There is also, it's fair to say, a razor-thin margin for Republicans in the U.S. House. So it stands to reason that the Republicans want to fill this seat as soon as possible. So the legislature and the governor agreed on this timeline. The governor called them into special session, and essentially they're saying we believe this is the least disruptive scenario in order to fill this special election seat.
Representative Chris Stewart officially resigning mid-September of this year. He will step down from his seat back in Washington, D.C. in Congress. So September 15th to about a couple of days before Thanksgiving. Of course, it takes a while potentially to tally the votes.
Yeah, so you could have in November, you could have a congressman-elect get elected, right? Basically, statistically elected. But then there's still 2 weeks of canvassing that happens after that. And to be fair to our county clerks, they're going to be canvassing over Thanksgiving in this deadline. So they're going to be canvassing and certifying the election 2 to 3 weeks after November 21st. And so once that election is certified, I would imagine that then this representative-elect could take the seat. And so we're looking at mid to late November, December. Yeah.
Okay.
When
8 to 10 week hole where CD2, Congressional District 2, does not have representation back in Washington, D.C. Am I stating that correctly, Lindsay?
Yeah, that's correct. And I think the conversations that happened over the last little while were considering the votes that were going to happen and how long Chris Stewart could stay on as the representative. We know he's stepping down due to his wife's health issues, so you would imagine he wants to be able to get to where he can help her as soon as possible. But there's also some important budget votes that are happening in mid-September, early September, it sounds like. So he has signaled he wanted to stay on through some of those important budget votes and to kind of wrap up his work in the U.S. House. And so he's staying on through that point. And then the soonest we can get our ducks in a row to hold this election is now this November 21st date. So we are going to sit with unrepresented Utah's Congressional District 6, District 2.
Yeah. Two, neither one.
Sorry.
We'll do our math.
6. Yeah, we didn't have 6.
6 minus 4 is 2.
We
got
there. For a few months. And then, you guys, it's been a crazy 24
Oh,
hours.
I know. You've been so busy. I watched you in the newsroom yesterday with the phone to your ear. You were running around. Lindsay, you needed to be wearing running shoes around the newsroom as you were trying to get this story together and get it on the air.
I got 13,000 steps yesterday. Let's just put it that
awesome.
way. Yeah.
Okay, real quickly, this could cost us a lot more than $13,000 though to run this election, but it's not quite as much as it could have been. Am I correct?
Yes.
I think it's going to be about $250,000.
Yeah, I don't have an exact figure.
Okay.
We are going to work on a story to report that as soon as we can because the legislature now has to appropriate money to pay for moving these dates. And so whatever it'll cost to run this special election, and it's going to probably add cost to the cities who've got to move their dates, potentially. So I don't know what all those costs are there, but we'll see it when the legislature decides how much money to appropriate to this. But we do know that holding 2 elections on the same day is cheaper than holding 3 separate election days when you think about it, right? So instead of doing the special election primary or general separate from the municipal, now we're only paying for 2 days of elections, ballots to go out, the equipment to run it, the stamp, the postage, right, the paper, all of that has to be paid for. And so we're presumably doing it on the fewest days possible.
Okay.
Lindsay Ertz, thank you for joining us and giving us the update. And just to be clear, folks, this is for Congressional District 2. So if you don't live in those boundaries,
not 6.
No, that's fine. The point being, not all of you are going to get to vote on this, just the folks in Congressional District 2.
But, Dave, I will also say everyone is impacted by the fact that cities' elections are moving back. So every city in Utah's election now is moving back a few weeks.
Lindsay Ertz, thanks for your coverage. And as I said, keep an ear to the show as you're continuing to work this story. I'll be tuning in this afternoon to Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News to see what you've learned on the CD2 front. As we can keep our eye on the developments there. Straight ahead, the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation rejoining the show. I want to ask him, legally, how old do you have to be to drive a boat? That's one of many questions we're going to explore next.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Hey, stay right here for more of Dave and Dujanovic.
And tomorrow morning, come back here for news, traffic updates, and reliable weather.
Join us to have a listen. Tim and Amanda.
Your morning companions for news.
Right on cue for summer.
OPEC plans to cut oil production.
Gas prices are headed up.
It could drive up prices for other goods.
Whether you're planning a staycation or a day trip, start your summer here. Get updates on traffic out of town, gas prices, and everything you need to know. Listen each day this summer, mornings and afternoons, to KSL News Radio.
This week's movie show is brought to you by Sound Sleep Medical. Get a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation by tuning in on Friday morning. Sound Sleep Medical with 7 locations in Utah.
Pro Paint Days are here at Lowe's. Now through June 16th, Lowe's MVPs members can start earning 20% back in paint rewards via Lowe's e-gift card when you spend $100 or more on qualifying paint purchases. Stock up on top paint brands like our new and exclusive HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Spec-Rite Pro Interior Paint. Lowe's knows pros. Exclusions, restrictions, and more terms apply. See Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms. Subject to change.
I guess it's human nature, Amanda, that no matter how much money we have in our savings account, it never seems like it's enough. And if you find yourself in that mode right now, let us direct you over to our friends at UCCU. They are wanting to help you supercharge your savings.
UCCU is offering high-rate savings options with yields up to 5.5%. All you do is go to UCCU.com and select a high-rate savings option to do just what you said, supercharge your savings.
You're going to get a much bigger return on your savings right now. It's a savings certificate, which means you make one deposit up front and your money grows over a fixed period of time. So you can have that grow over 5 years, but UCCU has created some very short-term savings certificates with high yields, short like 6 months, 9 months, or a year.
So you decide how long do you want to put that money. You deposit money, a one-time only deposit, and then you let it stay in. The longer it stays in there, the higher the interest rate you earn.
And if you need immediate access to your money, UCCU's Money Market will give you a high yield and anytime access.
UCCU, you're going to love where you bank.
Here's a question. Do you wear dentures? At Grandpa's Dental, you can trade in your floppy dentures and get $2,000 towards an implant-supported solution. You know, they say the older you get, the more you need your teeth. Well, chewing your food isn't a luxury. And taking a bite out of a nice, juicy steak, well, it takes teeth. At Grandpa's Dental, they have over 10,000 restorations under their belt, and it's always affordable. When you walk into one of their 3 locations, you're family, period. At Grandpa's Dental, they live their family legacy by building lasting relationships through state-of-the-art services. So if you want to stop the flop and actually eat foods you can chew, trade in your dentures at Grandpa's Dental for $2,000 toward your implant solution. Schedule your free consultation at grandpasdental.com today. That's grandpasdental.com.
Introducing Yes, Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. We're bringing all of Utah's favorite HVAC, plumbing, and electrical brands under one roof. Call the pros at Yes and save up to $1,000 on select new energy-efficient HVAC systems. Plus, you get a free whole-home air purification system to help reduce harmful airborne contaminants in your home. The same great people providing the same great service that Utah has counted on for more than 45 years. Visit theyesmancan.com to schedule your appointment.
Advanced Window Products. Affordable windows from their factory to your front door in 8 weeks. Guaranteed. 801-850-9100 or advancedwindowsusa.com.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Alexandria Bonilla. First, candidates to fill Congressman Chris Stewart's soon-to-be empty spot have until Wednesday to declare their gathering signatures. Second, Salt Lake City could have 27,000 new housing units within the next few years. And third, smoke continues to fill the air along the East Coast, originating from Canadian wildfires. Right now, it is 73 degrees in Salt Lake City. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Summer water safety. Special coverage with Dave and Dujanovic.
We're live along the Ogden River this morning, the Dave and Dujanovic Show, helping you get ready for summer fun with your family, but keeping your family safe around water. Of course, we talked to Lindsay Aerts just moments ago about the special election that is coming up for Congressional District 2. She's also a mom, and she said, I don't take my kids anywhere near the running rivers. The one out here in Ogden, it's not running as fast as we thought it was, but it's still running fast enough to sweep somebody away.
Okay, so I got a little something here. Safety is very important, and it's an important discussion to have, but I want to make sure that people realize, like, we're not trying to scare you away. This place is amazing. Utah is amazing. The rivers, playing in the rivers. I've spent decades playing in rivers and creeks and rafts and boats. I've never been injured. It is incredibly safe. You just got to make sure you're doing and taking the right precautions, because there's a safe way to do it. The only time I've seen people get in trouble is when they're overconfident and they're taking risks that, in all honesty, they probably are just with the wrong group of folks that are like, do it, man. I think you can jump off that.
Overconfident, underprepared. Steve Bullock and Ty Hunter with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation. I'm looking at a statistic here. It says 80% of boating fatalities could have been prevented if a life jacket would have been worn. Chief Bullock, you are out on these waters every day, and you see the potential dangers.
Yeah, that's just what it is. A lot of the boating fatalities are drownings. The ones that can't be prevented a lot of times are traumatic injury. When you talk about a prop cut or a boat collision where somebody's been hit. But most of them are preventable, and that's the great thing, is we can be outside enjoying these things and prevent death and sorrow and tragedy by wearing a life jacket. And it doesn't have to ruin your day. It doesn't have to ruin your tan. I think we talked earlier about, there's inflatable ones that you can wear around your waist that when you do get into that trouble, you have it. But the message we want to hit home is life jackets only work if they're worn, right? If you're not wearing it, then it's maybe too late to put it on. It's hard to put on the water.
Can we touch on boat collisions for a minute? Because unlike a vehicle, it doesn't maneuver as quickly. It's not as easy to move. It's not as easy to stop. The visibility is difficult, especially if you've loaded down your boat and that nose is sticking straight up and you're trying to see over the bow. Can we talk about collisions? Like, how do you teach people to make sure they're staying safe?
Yeah, that's great. So collisions can also be avoided, right? Utah has a law. It's called the speed and proximity law. There's no speed limit on the water. You can go as fast as you want, but you have to stay 150 feet away from any other boat, person in the water, or person on shore. So
half a football field.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's hard to see distance on the water, but most people can picture half a football field or half a soccer field. That's the distance we're talking about. So if you're creating a wave behind your boat, and then you need to change direction or slow down so that you're not waking other boats, and that's going to help you prevent a collision. The other thing that we haven't really talked about today that we really wanted to hit on is having fun. A lot of people in Utah think that having fun may involve alcohol. Alcohol is actually not against the law to drink on a boat. You can drink in a boat. But the operator can't be intoxicated, and he can't have an open container.
The driver.
The driver of the boat. So they can't have one in their cup holder. They can't be drinking. The same penalties that you see driving on the freeway apply to boating. So,
Ty Hunter, who's the boating program manager with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation. I often see kids driving a boat, juveniles. What's the legal age to be allowed to drive a boat? I mean, everybody's 11-year-olds and 10-year-olds are out driving these boats. If dad's on board, if mom's on board, is that okay?
Yes. So with that, it is the legal age to operate a boat by themselves, and that's a motorboat or a sailboat, is 16 years of age. So if you can legally drive your vehicle there, you can do that. So 16 years of age, a license is not required at that point in time. There are some specifics when we get with personal watercraft that you can operate at 12 years of age, but you have to take a personal watercraft safety course with that. But also on top of having that water safety course, you need to have an adult that is under direct supervision. Direct supervision is out on the water, not either on the craft with them or a craft by them, not sitting on the beach getting your suntan and letting the kids go out and play. Those things are not babysitters. They need to be supervised while they're out on the water. Once they turn 16 years of age, they can operate the personal watercraft alone with it, but they still need that course. 18 years of age, they're plenty fine with that. But so that's kind of a difference there. Now, you were talking about young ones operating a boat.
Yeah.
As long as they are under direct supervision, they can operate a boat. So that adult needs to be actively involved in teaching them and being able to correct a situation.
Not water skiing off the back of the boat.
Not water skiing off the back of the boat. Nope.
Right. They have to be in the boat.
Yes. In the boat.
I've totally seen it, though. Oh, my goodness.
You know this has caused many marriage encounters, right, on the boat, because one parent says, you can't do that. You have to be helping. And the other's like, oh, they'll be fine. So let's get into some advice on what to do when we see somebody in distress on a lake, particularly. We can talk about rivers too, but I want to talk specifically about our reservoirs. We see somebody in distress. Chief, what are your recommendations for the bystanders who want to help?
Yeah, this comes back to like basic swimming lessons, right? Reach, throw, row, don't go. So if you can reach them with something from the shore, or you're talking a river situation, that's a great option. If you can paddle out to them in a boat, if you can throw them one of those throwable life jackets that you have, those are all great options. Rivers also have throw bags.
What's a throw bag?
A throw bag. Oh, sorry. That's it's essentially in a lot of river situations. Dave, you know this, right? Maybe Dave wants to explain it.
I can chuck one a million miles.
Well, what is it? I don't know.
It's a bag of rope, and the way the rope is kind of put in, kind of stuffed in this bag, and you can throw the bag well past the person, and anyway, they can grab the
rope and you pull them in. That's more common for river situations. We want to help. If they're in a river situation, especially with the flooding we've seen this year, we can't advise you to go in the water after them.
Do not.
You're not going to catch up to them, for one. You're putting yourself at harm. The best thing to do if you see somebody struggling like that and you can't reach, throw, row, or go, then is to kind of keep an eye on where they're at, right? You're watching them. That's going to be helpful. Are they going downriver? Or where are they at? Unfortunately, we see a lot of times, and it's just human nature, when our family or friends are going under the water, we want to try and help them. And there's heroes that have done that, have dived in and saved people, and that's helpful. But we've also seen multiple drownings. There's one in Idaho a couple of years ago where one person went under the water, somebody else jumped in to save them. They went under the water, somebody else jumped in to save them, and in total 5 people drowned.
Wow.
Trying to help each other. So
oh my goodness.
We want to save our loved ones. The best thing to do is wear a life jacket, right? We want to have that point. You're not going to be in that situation. Some of the drownings we've had in Utah the last couple of years have been of people, hey, my hat blew out of the lake off the back of the boat because we're going along. They jump out and they don't come back up.
I don't go back for hats.
Right?
I don't go back for hats. I'm like, it's gone. That's it. We go buy a new hat. It's a $12 hat, $10, $12, $20. Yeah, you can't go. You cannot go back. I also feel, and we only have about a minute left. Ty, maybe you can hit on this. I also feel like people who are invited guests on other people's watercrafts need to, and maybe they're not familiar with lake rules, safety rules, and requirements, need to be aware that watercraft operator, the person who owns the boat, is responsible ultimately for your safety. So you got to listen to them. And you got to listen to their rules and their safety rules.
And it's not only just putting that responsibility on those guests. That operator needs to take charge. They are responsible for everyone there, and that can be to the point that if they're pulling a water skier, they're responsible for that water skier and that water skier's actions. And so if that water skier or wakeboarder or wake surfer is not wearing a life jacket, that operator is responsible for that. And they would be the ones that would receive the citation. So it's you're in charge. You're the captain of that boat. You are ultimately responsible of that. So
the boss of the boat.
But that communication needs to happen. I mean, we talked about prop cuts. We've had it to where guests have not communicated with the operator. The operator's trying to navigate a busy area, and everybody's decided they want to jump off the back of the boat. Yep. And the operator, as he's maneuvering, backs up over his passengers. And so those are some of the things you need to do. Is that communication is very, very key. And remember that person who's operating the boat is the one that's ultimately in charge.
Well, we appreciate you joining us, and this has been such a great conversation, a way to do it safely, but to still have fun. Your heart shouldn't sink every time we see you guys on the water. I've always had good experiences. We've also been corrected a few times, making sure we're doing everything right, but we appreciate the work you do, guys.
Ty Hunter and Steve Bullock of the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation. Thanks for all of your safety advice.
Thank you. Have a great summer, guys.
11:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Alexandria Bonilla. KSL's top story this hour. Salt Lake City leaders have outlined a plan to create 10,000 new housing units by the end of 2027. KSL News Radio's Adam Small reports.
The plan is designed to tackle housing for not only struggling renters, but those unable to crack through the new norm of the Salt Lake real estate market. The Salt Lake Tribune reports there will be a major push to preserve affordable housing and turn existing buildings into new housing spaces. Per the latest data, Salt Lake City has about a 14,000 unit shortage, and that doesn't include those needed to accommodate the estimated 6,000 people moving in between now and the end of 2027. This plan is close to final review and approval from the City Council. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
And our top national story this hour from ABC News. Thick smoke continues to blanket much of the eastern half of the U.S. today due to hundreds of wildfires burning in Canada. Health officials are warning that air quality will remain in the unhealthy range.
We clearly understand that these crises that we're facing around our health is something we're going to have to deal with. Climate change is real, and we must be prepared as we are dealing with the issues that come from climate change.
That's New York's Mayor Eric Adams saying while conditions will likely improve tomorrow, people should keep their masks on today and to not let their guards down. And your money at this moment, the Dow is up 148, S&P is up 18, and the NASDAQ is up 92 points. Coming up, some more sunshine for us. KSL weather's next. KSL News Time, 11:32.
Early mornings can be hard enough, just getting yourself going.
We try to make it a little easier with news and weather from comfortable, trusted anchors and reporters.
Join us on Utah's Morning News between 5 and 9
on KSL News Radio.
Elder abuse often goes unnoticed and unreported, especially when older adults are isolated and lack access to resources. Well, on June 15th from 10 to noon, you're invited to a virtual event hosted by the Utah Department of Health and Human Services and Aging Service Partners, because June 15th is World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. The focus of this year's conference is working together in collaborative partnership to educate, report, and prevent financial exploitation and other forms of maltreatment against older and vulnerable adults in Utah. You'll hear from a wonderful lineup of notable keynote speakers, including an introduction from Utah's Governor Cox. Please help protect Utah's older and more vulnerable adults, not just on one day, but every day. Attend this virtual event on June 15th from 10 a.m. to noon and find out what you can watch for. Text SENIOR to 57500 to register. That's SENIOR to 57500.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors to tell you about our 10-year everything guarantee. Most contractors spout off having great warranties that last forever. But those warranties are always, and I do mean always, riddled with loopholes, exception, fine print, and nonsense. At RGS Exteriors, we cover everything. Parts, labor, material, everything and anything for 10 full years. There's no cost to you whatsoever. No hoops to jump through, no exceptions. Yes, the products we sell, like James Hardy Siding, our windows, gutter covers, come with a 25 to 50-year manufacturer's warranty, just like everybody else. But the truth is, the products almost never fail. It's always the labor and material which is never covered, so you're stuck paying for service calls. For peace of mind, call RGS Exteriors. You'll sleep easy for 10 full years. 801-280-3110 or visit us at rgsutah.com. That's 801-280-3110 or online rgsutah.com. Gutters, siding, windows, and all exteriors with the 10-year everything guarantee.
Our state's children face a serious threat from the vaping industry, but thanks to state leaders and the Utah Health Department, Utah established the strictest nicotine standards for vaping in the United States to protect our kids. However, the vaping industry sued, claiming their sales and profits are down. Now they're pushing the health department to hand control of vaping regulations to the federal government. We can't allow that to happen. The proposed change would automatically increase nicotine levels in vape pens and reintroduce fruity flavors that entice our kids back into Utah convenience stores. Visit StopKidsVaping.com today and make your voice heard. Utah should maintain state control, preserve our 3% nicotine limitations, and prevent vaping flavors from returning to Utah convenience stores. Together, we can secure a better future for our children. Join us at StopKidsVaping.com and tell the health department, protect our kids.
Paid for by Prosperous Utah Communities.
At KSL News Radio, we have a 30-year legacy of honoring Utah teachers, but we can't do it without your help. Please tell us about an important teacher in your life on the KSL Teacher Tribute Wall, presented by Cypress Credit Union. Each month, one lucky teacher wins a $500 gift card from Cypress Credit Union, a $250 gift card to Harmon's, plus season tickets to Hale Center Theater. Say thanks to your teacher today at kslnewsradio.com/teacher from Cypress Credit Union and KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Granite Credit Union, helping members since 1935. Here's Ricky Meese with some emergency traffic.
We are coming in hot and in two places. The first is in Juab County, a crash causing big backups southbound I-15. This is going to be about 3 miles south of Santaquin, and it's going to be at least an hour before that's cleared. Our other emergency traffic situation is in Box Elder County. Heavy delays. Traffic out of Crawls, southbound I-15. From Corinne to Perry. No accident reported, but just be prepared for extra travel time. Cedar City, where summer meets adventure. Enjoy live entertainment with the Shakespeare Festival. Shopping, dining, museums, hiking, biking, disc golf, and camping under a starry sky. Level up your adventure. Visit cedarcity.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
And for our KSL weather report, we're looking at more high temperatures this week. Highs in the 80s with some possible rain showers. Right now it's 76 degrees at KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM, 1160 AM, and KSLNewsRadio.com. Your all-day companion for news.
Summer water safety. Special coverage with David Dujanovic.
Dave and I have been live along the Ogden River all morning long with our partners at the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation, talking about summer water safety on rivers and reservoirs. We're now going to shift the conversation to safety at swimming pools. And in a moment, we're going to speak to the director of the Clearfield's Aquatic Center about a new device. And heads up, friends, if you are by a computer, you can log on right now to kslnewsradio.com. You'll actually see a live demonstration of this new headset that they're using to keep kids safe in the water, and we're going to tell you all about it in just a moment.
It's called the Wave Drowning Detection System. And I love technology. You know I'm a super nerd when it comes to this stuff, Deb. This is something I think that is going to be the parent's best friend because so often when we take our kids to the pool, it is impossible to keep track of them.
Too many kids.
There's just so many kids. Your kid is in and out of the water, up the slide, down the slide, running around. It's impossible. So you're putting a lot of trust in the folks around you and the lifeguards to make sure they're doing their job. But when you have little kids, in an instant, things can turn dangerous.
The director of Clearfield's Aquatic Center, Clint Warnick, here Riverside with us this morning. Thanks for making the drive to Ogden to talk about this detection system. Walk us through, first of all, how it works, and then tell us how this could save a child's life. And would you hand it to me so I can hold it up for our .com audience and so they can take a look at it? So go ahead and walk us through it.
Well, thanks for having me out here and to tell you guys about the system. I'm really excited about it and what it's going to do for helping with kids' safety at our pools. So the system works, all the users, all the 12 and unders that would come to our pool would put down their head, just like it's a Bluetooth.
Little headset.
Yeah, it's a Bluetooth type headset, something similar to what you would wear at the gym for listening to music. It goes around the back of your head. And if a user is submerged face down in the water for 20 seconds or more, it's going to alert our guards. They all wear wristbands like this one, and that wristband will vibrate. And then we have little locator beacons at each body of water, and that would also flash. So that way we know which pool they're in, and then hopefully within those first 20 seconds we can respond and make the rescue or approach the person if they're just under the water with it. After those 20 seconds, the whole system will actually make a sonar type sound, like kind of like a submarine, and that alerts the whole pool that someone's been under the water now for at that time 45 seconds, letting them know that there's somebody in the water for that much time.
Well, and that is so important because it's one thing to be alerted, but to actually know or be able to narrow down where these kids are. Again, at these aquatic centers, so often there are multiple pools, there's lazy rivers, there's so many little bodies of water, it's hard to narrow it down. But you're saying that there is it a flashing light or something?
Yep, it looks kind of like a lighthouse type of a beacon. We have one of those at each of the pools. Again, one outside in our waiting pool as well. And so, yeah, when they're under the water, that would start flashing, and the wristbands would vibrate. The wristbands are for the lifeguards to let them know, and then the beacons are also to let us know where.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Deb. I was just going to say, now 20 seconds may not sound like a lot, but for a kid to hold their breath, be completely submerged under the water, you're confident that that's the right amount of time, or like kids don't spend that much time underwater?
Right, and those are adjustable based on the facility, but that's kind of the recommended time is 20 to 25 seconds, because that's when it becomes more about, going under the water, swimming, to a little bit more dangerous when you're starting going without air for 20 to 45 seconds.
Yeah.
We're live right now at the Ogden River with the director of the Clearfield Aquatic Center. Clint Warnick is here with us discussing the wave detection system. What it is children 12 and under at all the Clearfield pools are required to put on these headsets when they go swimming. And therefore, if they're under the water for 20 seconds or more, it alerts the lifeguards. And then eventually the entire, everybody on staff is alerted through a sonar sound that somebody's been under the water for an inordinate amount of time, a time that's considered, time that has lapsed, is considered not safe for a child to be under the water, and you're going to be able to prevent somebody from drowning. Has there been any resistance by kids to wear these things? And what scenarios do these things fall off?
Sure. Like anything, it's any kind of rule regulation, people are going to be either upset about it when they hear about it, or when they're presented with having to wear it or not coming to the center. Any rule we have, whether it be how we use the diving board or the slide, kids are always going to try and push those boundaries, see what is required, what we're actually going to reinforce or not. So there's definitely been some of that. There's some of that with parents as well, as new technology, something new that's being required, and there's some concerns with that. Our invitation is people to come out and try it. Before you buy a pass, we have headsets people can wear before they even come in to see how it works. Honestly, most of the kids have been really receptive to it. When they're told, hey, if you want to come and swim, you need to wear this headset. Okay. They put it on, and then they kind of forget it's there after a while. So there has been a little bit of resistance, but honestly, once people try it out.
Diving with it's tough? Is it diving with it tough, but not necessarily other, like just jumping up and down in the pool, they stay on?
Right. If they're going off the diving board and they're going to go head first, then they can put it on right by the diving board. When they get out, they can put it back on.
What about the cost? What's it costing the city?
Very little when you look at the big scope of things. It costs us about $20,000 initially to install the software, and that's for the amount of headsets that we have, for the main hub that makes the sound, and all the beacons and things. So,
and not available for parents to run out and buy, just available for like public pools right now. I'm standing up because I want to show our audience at kslnewsradio.com.
As far as home users, it gets down to about $7,000 on the cheapest scale that they offer. So if homeowners wanted to use it, or smaller scale places wanted to use it, there's definitely a smaller scale that you could purchase. I could see us taking off on like lakefronts, scout camps, that kind of thing, that have, especially areas where you can't see the bottom of the water. To have that extra measure to help keep kids safe, I think I could see that taking off there as well.
How many headsets do you have here for kids?
So at our center, we have 160. We're going to get a couple more just because during the summertime, our open plunge numbers can get a little bit higher than that for kids under 12. So we'll probably get to somewhere around 180 right now, and then that should kind of cover us.
Wow. Thank you again for making the drive to the Ogden River. This has been a great discussion. I'm sure we'll post more information to our social media. And it's just the Clearfield pools right now, I understand, that in Utah are using this wave detection system for kids.
Yeah. Well, Park City school district also uses it a little differently. But, yeah, as far as municipalities and things, that we're kind of the first ones. And we're excited to lead the charge on kids' safety.
And for those kids 12 and under, it's not optional.
Correct.
Okay. Why not optional?
Again, same as life jackets.
Okay.
Same as seatbelts in a car. It's something where no one comes to the pool thinking, hey, we're going to have a tragedy.
Yeah.
So we just say, hey, there's no testing out. It's just it normalizes it for all kids under 12, whether you're a really good swimmer or not a good swimmer. It's just everyone wears it.
Also helps the lifeguards out who have a lot of kids to watch, and if somebody's under the water for too long, they have the system on. It automatically, to a wristband, alerts the lifeguard, hey, there's a child in distress in this pool, and we are going to kick it into high gear and figure out what's going on.
Yep.
Clint Warnock, thank you so much for joining us and demonstrating this for us today. Again, we'll put much more information about this on KSLNewsRadio.com. We'll also post it to KSL News Radio's Facebook page, and appreciate it. Let's keep kids safe.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Did you know Utah has just one all-new station in the morning?
It's this one, weekday mornings between 5 and 9.
Start your days with us. We're Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
Your morning companions for news.
Text us here in the studio about the weather in your area. The Cypress Credit Union KSL text line is 57500.
If something's worth doing, it's worth doing right. There's a particular time of life this phrase couldn't be more appropriate. How can you know you'll live the retirement you've always imagined? After all, life can be so unpredictable. You've worked hard and saved. Watch your accounts go up and down with the market. Your advisor says, don't worry, you'll be just fine. But you still don't feel confident. Utah's retirement specialist, Capital Wealth Advisors, has a checklist to help you find out if you're on the right track for retirement. Take their checklist challenge. If you can check all the boxes on this list with confidence, you may be ready for retirement. If not, the team at Capital Wealth Advisors can help you address any potential costly mistakes. To get your copy of this free guide, go to retireutah.com. That's retireutah.com. Firm offers insurance services. Advisory services offered through Capital Wealth Advisors, LLC, a state of Utah registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Now more than ever, educators need our connection, empathy, and kindness in their lives. Utah's First Lady, Abby Cox, is leading efforts to uplift and support educators across the state. She joins us with more on how to show our teachers that we care.
As we go about our daily lives, it's important to remember that teachers are shaping the future of our world by educating and inspiring the next generation. As a former teacher and now Utah's First Lady, I know that supporting and uplifting our educators is a responsibility we all share. That's why I'm inviting all Utah educators to join me at the Show Up for Teachers Conference on July 19th at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. Now in its second year, Show Up for Teachers brings together educators from across the state for a day of learning, growth, and connection with a focus on emotional resilience and reducing stress. Registration is limited, so tell your favorite educators to sign up quickly. As teachers inspire and build the next generation, it's up to us to support and uplift them in every way possible.
Education is essential to building a strong and vibrant community. Businesses can get involved in supporting Utah's educators through the Show Up for Teachers Conference. Join us and make a difference in the lives of our educators. Learn more at showuputah.org. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Alexandria Bonilla. First, emergency traffic and delays on southbound I-15 in Box Elder County and just south of Santa Quinn. Second, Salt Lake City Councilwoman Amy Fowler could get a replacement as early as next month following her resignation earlier this year. Third, Senator Mitt Romney says the passport delays in Utah are unacceptable, calling for a passport agency here in the state. Right now it's 76 degrees in Salt Lake City. Back to David Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Summer water safety. Special coverage with David Dujanovic.
We're live. We've been live all morning long along the Ogden River. We have been camped out I call it a slice of heaven as I was driving up here. I was like, where in the world has this place been all my life? It's beautiful. We're at the Rainbow Garden. It's like a restaurant. It's the Rainbow Garden Center. I just sent Dave packing to the car to bring me a couple of ibuprofen. This show has been, thanks Dave, has been so incredibly fun that I have a sun headache now.
We're not used to all this fresh air. Like we like to be in a studio with some good processed
Before we take our
air.
listeners to Utah County, where we know a lot of people love to recreate, like Bridal Veil Falls and Utah Lake, work your magic, Dave, so we can listen to the river that's running behind us, and our listeners can hear what we've been subjected to all morning long. It's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. We have had the honor of partnering with the Utah Division of Outdoor Recreation today to bring us some excellent safety tips, common sense safety tips, but also things you haven't thought about if you're recreating on water this summer. As part of our discussion about safety, we also asked Kevin Eubank, our amazing meteorologist, he's like a machine of information, to join in about lightning safety in the 10 o'clock hour. And I'm telling you, if you've missed this show, please, please, please take the time to podcast it on your favorite podcast platform before you head to the lake or to the rivers this summer with your family. You will get a ton of actionable, usable safety advice for you and your family. And one of those things we've hit hard on today, Dave, is life jacket safety.
Yeah, there's so many times, as a former river guide, I used to do whitewater rafting. I guess I still do a little bit, but it was a thing that I constantly preached, and I told kids all the time, it's not tight enough. Cinch it up, because when you drop into the water, if it's not tight, it can float up, kind of up around your head. It can even slip off if you're trying to get pulled back into the boat. So, cinching up these life jackets, it's a little uncomfortable, but the alternative is, I've seen it save so many lives, Debbie, because you hit that cold water, and all of a sudden you think you're a great swimmer, but then you start hyperventilating. You don't realize the shock and kind of the fear that comes in, and you're in a real dangerous situation in a hurry.
Utah County Sergeant Spencer Cannon on the phone line with us. So many folks love to recreate in Utah County, and I love what they've done down at Utah Lake, where they've in the past have offered a free life jacket. Wait, let me finish the word. Life jacket program. Do they still have that program in place down there, Spencer?
Yes, it is still in place, and it's a great program. A lot of people may think they have something that's adequate, or maybe they just go down there not planning to play in the water, but they end up playing in the water. And with this life jacket loaner program, then there can be something there for them to put on. Or maybe they haven't been to play in the water for a while, and they get down there and find out the life jacket that used to fit little Johnny doesn't fit little Johnny anymore, and they can go over there and borrow one.
It doesn't fit Big Daddy anymore.
Big Daddy put on some pounds.
We know what you meant by that, Sergeant. We know what you meant. It's a loaner program, so you can borrow it for the day. Is that the deal?
Yeah, and that program got put into place in the year or two after, and this was back in 2020, just recently, when Priscilla Binkowski and Sophia Hernandez drowned on Utah Lake. They were out there playing on beach toys, essentially, that weren't designed as life preservers. The weather came up, and they experienced clearly some trouble They were missing. We looked for them for a week, and they were found and they drowned. And one of our detectives worked with some other state agencies and other people to help put this into place so that people, when they're out there, if something happens like we've laughed about and talked about lightheartedly, but in a real serious way, they can have a life jacket there if they don't have something that's adequate.
Yeah, can you speak to that? Because a lot of times we just assume, whatever we bought at the big box store, little inflatables, we think that's enough. But a real life jacket, it has to be like U.S. Coast Guard approved. There's a huge difference in kind of the cheap ones that you might get, and then the high-end ones as well.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, they're making sure when you're buying something for life protection, you want something that's certified for that purpose. Something that's a beach toy, even the little arm floaties that people put on, that all of us have put on the arms of our young children, those are typically not designed as life-saving, life-preserving, or certified life-preserving devices. So when you're doing something to protect a person's life, don't get those little thin plastic or rubber things that are fun to throw around in the pool. But in the pool, if it pops, you got a few feet to swim to the edge of the pool. If it happens in a lake or on a river, and that's all you have and it pops, you're done. Your life may literally be at risk.
Sergeant Spencer Cannon live on the phone line with us from Utah County as we talk about water safety. And one of those hot spots for families to visit is Bridal Veil Falls. And I saw y'all were doing some pretty amazing work on Bridal Veil Falls in that area yesterday. What was up with that, and why were you doing it?
Well, there was a large avalanche that came down in January, and the area's been closed since that time. And as the snow from the avalanche deposit melts away, a lot of the debris and rocks and boulders get exposed. But there was still a span of that ice that was covering the Provo River or over the Provo River. It wasn't blocking it. And there were people who were climbing on it, and that creates severe risk for them. One person last week even decided that it would be a good idea to climb into a hole that had melted in that avalanche deposit and jump into the Provo River. And our real concern with that yesterday is, then the reason we did what we did yesterday is because we worry that somebody is going to die engaging in activity like that person did. And what he did, I can't use strong enough words to say how ill-advised that is. The water in that river right now is coming off the bottom of Deer Creek. It is runoff water. It's probably in the 30s or the low 40s in temperature, and a person in water that cold only has a very short time where they can still function adequately to be able to get themselves out of the water. And that kid was fortunate to get out. If he'd have gone down another 100 yards, he might not have had the same outcome.
Wow. Spencer Cannon, thank you, Sergeant, for joining us from Utah Sheriff's Department.
Wow, great advice. Learned all kinds of tips this morning. And guess what? We are not done helping keeping your family safe this summer. Next Thursday, we're going to be live from one of our favorite reservoirs. You don't know which one yet, Dave, but I'm going to spring the news on you. Yep, I'm going to spring the news on you. We're going to be broadcasting live. Lots of information. Okay, we just had two kids come up. Tell me your first names. What is it? Anne and Piper. Well, thank you guys so much for being here with us, and stay safe this summer, all right? Thumbs up? Yeah.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. Listen on the KSL News Radio app and in your car at 102.7 FM. KSL News Radio, your all-day companion for news.